Hello.
Twice.
Yeah.
So good we played it twice.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
Hi.
webcam supremacy. Hi, look,
Yeah.
okay, so listen, guys, we are very professional. Okay, so let us all not swear in the first, because I'm so highly monetized. Let's not swear in the first few minutes.
Indeed.
I just had to
let us
resist.
say-
Try.
Guys, hi.
Hello.
Do you guys see what actually happened? We had a Warren Smith, a wild Warren Smith has appeared. He has so bravely come to do a think with us because he saw some Scuff Queen things and didn't mind seeing them, and it was great. So anyway, welcome, Warren.
Thank you. Thank you so
everybody-
much for having me.
Everybody here knows you because they're here because you told them to come here.
Oh, okay.
Most people, yeah. Especially Cynical. If Cynical's still here, Cynical Finch. They came in because of me, because of your shout out. So yes, hi, welcome. What is he known for, everybody?
I think he would be a critical thinking icon at this point. That's,
indeed.
I'm guessing, the easy way to put it.
I will try and live up to that. We'll see what happens.
Well, that's what you're doing on the Thinkers, okay? Now
Okay.
you have arrived.
I am here. I've arrived. My journey is complete.
So actually, how
Well,
about
we
you
appreciate
introduce yourself, Warren?
Yeah.
And say what you do
Rude.
professionally.
Yeah, my name's Warren Smith. I'm a teacher, first and foremost.
Teacher.
Background in filmmaking. Let's see. Yeah, ever since I was a kid, I wanted to make movies, and so I went to film school, undergrad, and did Hollywood for a little while. I realized I didn't want to live there long term, and loved the East Coast. Then I applied to grad school, got accepted to one in Baltimore, one in Florida, and one in Boston at Emerson. Got a decent scholarship, but I fell in love with the city of Boston. So my parents were professors, and I wanted to one day, thought that would be the coolest career path to be able to teach filmmaking as well as be a professor, and the lifestyle that affords me to allow me to work on my own projects as well. And so now right out of grad school, I started teaching at Emerson part-time, and I teach filmmaking there, and used to teach there in the summers. This will be the first summer I don't think I'm going to have time to do that. The pre-college 5-week intensive in-person, like flat out sprint for 5 weeks of filmmaking for high school students who come and live in the dorms. And I teach full-time high school, teaching filmmaking, multimedia, and digital art. So just really working with cameras is my passion, and storytelling. And so I love what I do. And
That's
so
awesome.
that's really who I am. That's what I would say.
It's a beautiful gift to have to love what you do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what put you on the map, Warren?
That video, that video viral thing. I would love to one day not be known for that. We'll see.
Yeah.
if I can get away
Yeah.
from it.
Look,
Did you
listen,
ever envision
No.
Harry Potter having such an impact on your life? In
Oh,
so many
that's
ways?
a good question. It definitely did growing up. Yeah, it's had a huge impact on my life. So it's pretty, I don't know if ironic would be the word, probably coincidental, full circle. It feels, that it's cool to be, if you're going to be known for something viral, it's cool to have it attached to Harry Potter, because it is something that's huge for me.
Yeah, it wasn't you
For
like,
sure.
There you go.
it was you talking about something that you actually care about, I suppose?
Yeah, I think it's,
Yeah.
I care about J.K. She's J.K. Rowling. She's, writing you could say a children's book, she became richer than the Queen of England. She did something that the history books
No.
will record forever. So,
Indeed.
yeah,
For
I think
sure.
it's an
Nothing
important
more
thing to
powerful
investigate.
than movies and books.
Okay, who wants
Yeah.
to go first?
Well, it seems pretty
Go ahead.
aspirational for somebody who's in the industry, to see such a success happen for somebody, like you said, writing a children's story. It's got to feel good knowing that there is visible potential for success for you.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah,
so.
use what's come to you. That's basically the position you're in now. But I guess we'll get I don't know, maybe we'll talk about that closer to the end if we can, about where you're going with your content, and what you're doing. Say your content, because you know content is
Yeah,
the word
yeah.
you're doing now. Like, I'm sorry. But
Buzzword.
yeah, buzzword. But we are ecstatic to have you here. Just actually, guys, just introduce yourselves a little bit to Warren. Warren knows a bit about my channel. These are the thinkers. They are the people that actually got me to just reach out to you because they really wanted to talk to you.
Oh,
So,
cool.
Gray, if we could start with
Webcams
you.
first.
Yeah?
Sure. I'm nobody. I debated some people, and then it kind of grew into like this weird thing. Currently doing videos on comedy. I hope to have one out in the next few days. But
Neat.
yeah, I'm kind of nobody. My main thing is here. This is where I like to be with fellow thinkers.
What were you debating? Can I ask?
So a lot of people were getting called racist for this thing called a pattern, but it was very ill-defined by this group. So I kind of tried to get them to define it. They didn't really want to engage with that. And then, yeah, they
It's back
called
and
me a
forth.
thinker. And that's kind of where I think the
That's
name of
where we
this
got-
thing came from. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was kind of just weird stuff. And then the next debate was kind of on comedy and free speech. But yeah, also weird things like science fiction versus fantasy. I'm more in the fantasy camp, but perhaps that's just me.
AI
Cool.
art,
Preach.
the morals, the things about our art. Go, yeah, check out Gray's
But yeah,
things.
I feel like I've taken too much of the time. BMO, you're an internet artist, correct, sir?
Yes, I'm a person that draws on the internet. My name's
You did
BMO.
not
I've
draw that
gone.
profile picture.
No, I did not. This was made with AI art generations via Andrew right there in the middle.
Adorable.
And I'm just a
The
freelance
adorable one.
artist. I've been involved in this sphere of commentary and stuff like that recently when I got involved with one specific community. And it kind of spread out until I started watching Kitty's streams, and eventually I annoyed her enough to be invited to the Discord.
Cool.
Annoyed me.
That's pretty much how I am.
No, we played Monster. Like you said, you played Monster Hunter and you were in. That's it. So
Yeah. But for me, I sometimes live stream. I play games and I do art when I die. So that's usually what I do.
Cool.
does cartoons every day. Catrew.
Hey, so I have a small channel as well. I focus on critical thinking. Sometimes that involves movies. Sometimes that involves debates. Sometimes, a lot of the time, it involves politics. And I'm a big John Locke stan. I big fan of liberalism. And recently, there have been some people who have conflated the differences between liberalism and socialism, and just like untangling what liberalism is has been a focus of my channel as of late. And just going back to the original texts, you know, John Locke, Voltaire, Rousseau, I would say, is not liberal, which is one of the things that I kind of discuss. But you also got Hobbes and Grotius and Montesquieu and all these people.
Are you a philosophy reader, Warren?
Or a cat fan?
I try. Yeah. I usually listen to it more in podcast form, just because I enjoy that format.
Yeah.
But that's really cool. I think that's a worthy cause that you're doing. I think it's important for for that side of the spectrum to sort themselves out, and so that's a worthy cause. Good for you.
Catrew base confirmed.
Hello, I'm I'm a voice actor, and I'm not sure I'd consider myself a writer, but I've been writing a lot more recently, and I accidentally found my way. Like you, I sort of got frustrated with Hollywood and chose to slow that part of my life down. considerably in pursuit of other endeavors. I accidentally found my way into a watch party with Kthxbai, and suddenly I became a regular on her Thinks, which inspired me to start my own YouTube channel where I've got some Cicero readings. We're going through On
Nice.
Duty's 3.
I like Cicero.
Yeah, me
Sure.
too.
I'm a big
fan of the
Churchill
guy.
fan.
Yes. I knew I liked you. And then Kthxbai and I are doing a reading of Mistborn, where neither of us have read the book. It's our first time going through it, and we're recording our experiences along the way.
Along the way.
Cool.
Have you read those books, Warren?
No,
Mistborn
just-
or anything
I
by
was-
Brandon Sanderson?
No, I have not. Oh, no, Sanderson. I've heard him talk on story structure in his.
Yeah,
Magic
yeah, he's a-
systems and everything.
yeah.
those are
it's
some
really cool.
great videos that he's got out there for that.
Yeah, that's how I actually found him, was through his videos. So I haven't
Nice.
read his books though, but I really like his writing approach, his content creation.
Same.
And Galente, who the
Yeah.
hell are you? He's last but not least. We haven't seen him in a while. Actually, some people in chat probably don't recognize you.
Yeah,
It's got such a memorable face.
well, that's right. I know, right? That I don't show.
Memorable Booba.
I'm somebody who has virtually no internet presence. I avoid social media like the plague. But this is my one place that I put myself out there, thanks to this group of people who are very welcoming and willing to actually talk out and discuss topics on a level that most people would just throw their hands up and be like, I'm done with this. And
What is your profile picture?
actually,
It's a gun
it's
runner with a knife.
it is. So my handle comes from an old game that I used to play, and the Galente faction has an artist or has armor that was used as source material and then put through AI to make this.
Boob armor, sis.
Boob armor, yes. Welcome the boob armor. But yeah, no, I'm really a nobody that's just happy to be here. But yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you, Warren.
Oh, you too.
Everybody
Thank
here,
you.
everybody here is a somebody to everybody here. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Group hug.
Aw.
So, yay, Warren. Let's get into the film things, right? So, as Warren, that's what I wanted to get to talk to Warren about mostly. It's like, because if you go to his channel, there's a lot of the stuff before the viral thing was about filmmaking and things. That's literally what you're doing. Oh, and there is a wild Charles has appeared.
Oh my goodness,
Charles,
lovely.
Webcam supremacy, and it's not symmetrical.
So
What?
many webcams.
Well,
No,
either
layout,
Dorkus or Beano
because
has to turn on their
we-
webcam.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Not gonna happen.
Okay, we'll do more Kthxhai things because Charles needs to say who he is. Hi, Charles. Introduce yourself.
I forgot that today was a thing and slept in and just absolutely forgot everything. There's no excuse. Sorry.
Slept in. It's 3 p.m. for you or something.
It was
over
Friday last night.
Agreed.
He is a comic. It's early for him.
Yeah, no excuse. Sorry. Hi.
there. We have
Still,
to
thank
talk
God you
about
made it, man.
because of what
My
you're
info's
wearing
here.
now. Mhm.
Yeah,
He's
we're getting ready to watch Barbie tonight, so I figured I'd dress for the occasion.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
Nice.
Nice.
awesome.
But wait. What because we're talking about everybody's film experience and things.
Oh.
Yeah.
Channels. What is your channel about? So we just say so because Warren doesn't know who everyone is here. Like
So he shouldn't.
No,
Probably a good thing.
no.
warning.
Oh,
Or what are we gonna just do a Charles? Who is Charles, guys?
well, yeah.
All right, so I'm classically educated. Classically, that sounds so snobbish. I studied film at the New York Art Institute, which is right next to NYU.
Yeah.
And every now and again, I used to watch the really expensive film students go to film school, and me going to the dollar store version.
Oh,
And
that's-
yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know if I've stayed with film as much as
You got all the textbooks with you.
yeah, that's because somebody asked, where did you get that knowledge from? Yeah, I put away my props, but yeah, I don't know. Since the recent Chris Stuckman controversy, I felt it was a little bizarre how I'm kind of hardlined in my stance that having a YouTube channel, and again, this is hypocrisy personified. Having a YouTube channel doesn't mean you're an authority on film, and that seems to have gotten wild. And there's no holding anybody to account. Like, where did you learn this? It's just, I don't know. I'm a bit of an old school snob.
Interesting. That'd be a good conversation to have. No, that's a good conversation.
Yeah.
I like this.
I think if you have a webcam on, you are the authority in what you say.
Yes.
Stop.
You are. So let's
just
actually
prettier.
use that. Let's use that as. Listen, you're
Pretty in pink.
Oh, hey,
Hey,
Galante.
I didn't notice you. Hello there.
Right?
it's so nice to see you, man.
Indeed, and
Been
you
way
as
too
well.
long, Charles.
That's why I wore pink, because I heard there was a rumor.
This is for
So
you.
Oh my god,
I wanted to be bright.
trying to look good for me. You shouldn't have.
Okay, so let's get onto the supercut of the Stuckman thing. And listen, we went over it on Thursday ourselves, so we won't pause. Warren, if you want to pause and talk about stuff, look, I'm probably going to end up pausing and talking, and why not? Catrew and I will probably do that. But yeah, look, we'll try to we don't want to just let the video sit and run for 10 minutes, though.
Yeah, okay. It is an edited video, so you could, but fair enough.
Yeah, Gray, don't copyright claim us, man.
Hey, I put it on my channel first. It won't.
Okay. Let me know about
Battlefield Earth. Never in my
Yeah, we
life
can
did
hear
I
it.
ever want to say that title
How's
in
this
a
frame
video
rate, man?
on my channel, but I started a segment entitled Hilariosity Reviews, in which I talk about films that are such atrocities, they're
What's
hilarious.
Yeah,
What's the audio?
there's a bit of sync. There's a bit of sync issues.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, come on. This is supposed to be a super duper computer, okay?
It is kind of super.
Battlefield Earth. Never in my life did I ever want to say that
it got
title
worse.
in a video on my channel.
It's StreamYard's fault, okay? I'm gonna give
It
it
is.
a bad review.
But
That's all right.
I started a segment entitled Hilariosity Reviews, in which I talk about films that are such atrocities, they're hilarious. Here I am to talk about one of the worst films ever made. Now,
It's tough to really look at these movies and be like, except with this movie, because this movie's ass and I don't like it at all. X-Men Origins, this was an attempt at a big franchise. I think it failed on every level possible. Directing, style, CG, acting, script.
yes, this film is
I
so
still like
intensely
X-Men
bad
Origins.
and so
You're wrong.
incredibly hilarious that I had to have some help. I had to
okay.
bring in the cavalry on this one.
Who the hell knows what happened with this movie? Probably a lot of studio interference and a lot of people who were just really not capable of making a film, I guess. And they decided to do whatever the hell they wanted, and this is what we got. I hate this movie. I hate Alien Resurrection. This is an abomination. This film has barely a single redeeming quality in it. I'm still going to make videos. They're just going to be kind of different, and they're not going to be the same as they were before. I think it would be strange for me to say, I hope you guys see my new film out on October 23rd. Also, Tom and Jerry is really bad. Like, that would be weird. You know what I mean? Like, that wouldn't make any fucking sense. There are plenty of film
That would
critics
not be
who
weird at all.
eventually turned into filmmakers. There's actually a lot more than you might realize. And I'm sure when my film is eventually released, reviews will refer to me as film critic turned filmmaker or YouTuber turned filmmaker or something along those lines. But the fact remains, I've been making movies since I was 14, but filmmaking was always my priority. And I think YouTube kind of caged the beast for a while, because I always wanted to make films and I wanted to pursue that career. But
Urges.
for a few years there,
I guess what he means is that
was
it
in a
fulfilled
lull
him,
state.
that niche. It
Yeah,
fulfilled
that
yeah,
need
for
to
him.
create stuff. Of
It's
course.
just a very odd way to phrase that, though. It caged the beast.
I think it
Yeah,
might be phrasing used just for dramatic flair. And
Yeah.
Not saying that's inherently bad. Just I think that's where it's coming from.
It's not really anything. It's fine. It's just it struck me as a very odd way of phrasing it.
Mm-hmm.
If he was making movies from when he was 14, sorry.
Yeah, come on, creative, come on.
If he was making movies from when he was 14, like if that gives him street cred or YouTube cred or whatever, why was he still criticizing films 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 6 years ago? Why he was?
Why is it?
He was still considered a filmmaker in his own head. So why would he critique film as a filmmaker from
Agreed.
20 years ago?
Well, I still want to know when Warren's first film was. Like, was he also were you
when I was
12?
Yeah, I mean, I was just running around I discovered iMovie on my parents' computer and had a little camera with the little cassette tapes and started running around with my friends, doing ridiculous little things. But so my first actual, what I would consider an actual short film, wasn't until film school. I didn't know how to actually format a screenplay until being taught how to do so. So when I'm watching this video, I guess I'm thinking I can relate to some of what he's saying about that drive to always have the desire to make these films or to make movies, because we have to keep in mind the technology has changed rapidly. So now we can access a 4K camera. Lighting now through LED technology has lower. It used to be you wouldn't be able to afford lighting. Yeah, it would get really hot. So the technology is now accessible. But I don't know, I'm still learning about this whole situation. It sounds like he's actually trying to go industry route. In the industry, when I ended up in LA, I ended up working as an assistant at a talent agency, at a literary talent agency. And talent agents do not read unsolicited screenplays. So if you send in a screenplay cold, which is actually what J.K. Rowling did to get her agent, but we'll talk about the exceptions. The policy in place is we do not read unsolicited. And the main reason they say for that is because they do not want to get sued. They don't want to read something, pass on it, and then down the road for years later, and this happens, they see another client and they forgot they read or whatnot. But also the main reason is they don't want it. Most of it's crap, and they're already has such a high influx of people they're already established relationships with that why would they? But the number one question I would get was, okay, wait a minute. So you're telling me that I have to have an agent tell you I'm sending the script in order for you to read it, but I can't get an agent because you won't read unsolicited material. That's a catch-22. Well, yes, it is. So the best response is go do something off the wall and allow them to come to you, which is what happened to Stuckman, right? So to be fair, we do need to recognize that. So I would be hypocritical if I were to say, oh, he's a fool for trying to chase his dreams or use what he has. Because we obviously need to use what we have. Like, same thing I'm doing. It's like whatever comes along, I'm going to try. I think that we have a moral obligation to make the most out of what is given to us. And ambition is not a bad thing, though that's not the controversy here. It sounds like we haven't gotten quite to the meat and potatoes of what the controversy is, and we will. But just keeping that dynamic in mind, YouTube is so great because of that reason. People can now go do something crazy. If you want to go be a filmmaker, go make short films and stuff like I've been trying to do with Secret Scholars and stuff, like with your friends on the weekend. You just got to do something to get them to come to you. It will never work the other way. They have to come to you.
Well, Warren, as somebody who's worked on you said shorts, I apologize. I'm going to show myself here. I only know you as the J.K. Rowling on Twitter.
Yeah, that's okay.
Apologies. You've worked on set.
Yeah.
Anybody who's been on a set knows that, one person isn't really responsible for it's a team effort. So he could front load his reviews and say, I'm not really picking on any one thing. Any variable can play into why something didn't work, but there's so many moving pieces in a film that, again, something that I've been taught and kind of figured out the hard way. Anytime a film gets made and finished, that's the real, something to champion. The fact that they worked through it and got something complete and it is coherent. It's
nearly impossible. It's
Right,
a miracle
right.
in itself if you get a movie to. So I have produced one feature film, I would say, that I actually carried through from start to finish. We did it for $25,000. We raised that.
Wow.
We were able to film it because I wrote the screenplay around the locations I had access to where I grew up. So we filmed, for example, in the cabin where I grew up. And you can find it on my YouTube channel,
awesome.
As the Crow Flies, it's called. It's not great, but it's good for what, and we did it right out of film school with film students that had just graduated, banding together to make this thing happen. That's the only reason we were able to do it, and everyone worked for free. Had we not worked for free, that would have been a $500,000 movie minimum. And you can watch it, and you'll see, hopefully the production value shows, and I think it does. We filmed it on industry. We rented all the equipment, and that money was spent. And I can talk a little bit later if you want about how we tried to get distribution, how I learned from that, and how I eventually just said screw it and just posted it on YouTube for free. And
that is awesome.
And that got 300. That was the first thing I ever posted that got views. It got over 300,000 views, and I had to monetize the channel. I took it down when I tried to monetize the channel because I don't think they understood that this is my movie, guys. This is not a movie I'm posting as a one-to-one copy. It looks like that, so they wouldn't monetize me. So I had to take it down and then reposted it. It only has like 1,000 views now. Whatever, I don't care.
No.
You know what I mean? Like it's still something sad in the past, but it's helped me in other ways. But it was an interesting learning experience. But anyways, I'm digressing. We'll get to it more. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question about something you said. You had said something to the effect of you said something regarding the quality of the movie that you had made, which I think connects a little bit into what Stuckman gets at here in this video, which is I think a lot of times in the YouTube space, you will see people using very specific language when talking about the decline in quality from the big studio films like Marvel. They will say Multiverse of Madness is shit. It sucks. It's garbage. It's CW levels of bad, things like that. But there is a shoot. I'm fumbling. It's gone.
You talking about what they're using, like the cameras and stuff they're using?
Well, it's Raimi, so it's pretty. Oh no, we lost B-Mobile, but I don't know, like that. Yeah, I can understand why people don't like that one, but there's so much art in that film. Like it's strange, but what they let Raimi do is cool.
Right.
Well, I mean, I feel like the main thing that
basically, I would love to hear you talk about like the spectrum of quality between it.
Of films
I've fumbled.
available
Sorry,
today.
guys.
But no, like we are going to be talking about film critics. That's what we want to talk about as well, is film critics and filmmaking. And I don't know, there is a perceived decline in the YouTube sphere. Is that what you're thinking about there, Dorkus? There's a perceived decline, it's real, decline in quality that we've seen from studios, and Marvel isn't the basis for that. We're just talking about film itself.
Yeah, I can comment on that real quick. So let's think about the Oscars recently, right? So we basically had one movie come through this year, which is the first time we've ever had that rate. Oppenheimer, it just swept through. There was really no other contenders, if we're being honest about it. So that's the first time we've. It's crazy now that we have so few. So the problem is IP. As production gets more accessible, IP becomes a thing that has more value, which is why YouTubers are going to be pulled in, because it's the ideas. Anyone can have an idea, right? So because now the execution of that idea, especially with AI coming in. So let's just assume for a moment that AI is going to go the way that they're fearing, and suddenly you can take whatever's in your mind and actually bring it to life using AI. Let's just say that becomes a reality. Well, the idea is now the thing that holds supremacy. It used to be more where gatekeepers had more power because you could not take what was in your head and bring it to screen without going through all of these gates, without going through the Hollywood system. And Hollywood system was making films, Goodwill Hunting, smaller movies, drama-based. We are not seeing that now because it's becoming more difficult for them to recoup their finances. They no longer have DVDs. They're competing with streaming. We have the union strikes, which is driving up production costs dramatically. They shot themselves in the foot. They don't. It's just. But because their primary goal is job preservation, they're not even really thinking about it because they're going paycheck to paycheck, job to job, like any other person, and it's a rough way to actually make a living. That's something I try and articulate to students, is that it's not quite what you think in Hollywood. When you are working as a professional writer, for example, you're making most of your money doing rewrites on other people's screenplays. It's very few people that are writing a movie and directing that movie. Very few.
Yeah.
The Nolans, the Tarantinos, you know. So that's why we are seeing them bank on previously established IP. As IP increases in value, they are now banking more on IP naturally. So what has remakes, things that they can recoup their money on, not Good Will Hunting, which is an original, or movies like it, right? That is untested, unproven. Those are becoming more and more gambles. That's actually killing the industry as well. Though that's now opening that door to this new indie wave, which I do think we are on the cusp of. And I do think Daily Wire is spearheading that. We have never seen anyone contend with a completely alternative model to Hollywood in our country before. They've done it in other countries, not in this country, because Hollywood has such a stranglehold through unions, through those gatekeepers, through the dynamic I was just describing with the agent and how they won't take. That's a perfect example. They internalize the system. They call it a small town. They call it this little, our industry, our business, the town, they call it. Oh yeah, so-and-so came to town. Right, this town. Yeah. It's a small knit. They say it's smaller than you think.
City. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
do you think they have a shot going up against that giant?
I do, because I think Hollywood is primed to fall if they can pull off Pendragon Cycle. So I am rooting for them. They have got to, if they can nail that, if they can deliver on that, I think that could be the turning point.
Well, they've also got Snow White coming up quite soon. And
I'm a little bit from the preview of that. That was not a real preview, I don't think. No. I think that was a proof of concept, similar to...
I think it was just on the set of Pendragon or something. I don't think it was real.
So hopefully they learned from that and they realized, oh, okay, we got to change course with costume and makeup. And hopefully the movie won't look like that. It has I hope they would nail it. I hope they knock it out of the park. But my point is there's two different avenues here, which is going to tie in directly with Stuckman. He's trying to go that, we'll call it the traditional model, where you have to play by their rules or you are kicked out of the town, which is why I'm anticipating what he's going to say is going to be shaped around that. He's going to become very,
I think so,
sensitive to that. He's got to play by now you can either choose that or you can say, to hell with it, I'm going to go with the other people because I don't want to have to go by the union, play by their rules. I think they're dying. I think this is a bubble. It's going to burst. I'm going to go with the other model. But when you do that, you're making that's a big gamble because you can't go from one to the other. Daily Wire, people that crew on, I would be so curious to know more about who they're hiring to do makeup and how they find that person to do makeup. Because just by signing up for their project, I'm sure that's going to echo through the town and say, I actually just spoke to someone from who called me. We set up a call and he's in the industry in Hollywood. And he was talking to me a bit about that and how there is fear around those productions where
there should be.
Once you have affiliated with them in any way that follows you. And so if you're a casting director, suddenly you're going to stop getting calls for certain projects. For example,
I thought you meant the industry was afraid of somebody else coming in, but that fear that way that would
the industry
get blacklisted for
Hollywood is so arrogant. They're not afraid. They don't think they're
they think they're too big.
Yeah,
because they're not one. The thing Hollywood isn't one business, but it is one group of people that is insular.
I've been
what I was going to say is that I feel like they also are obsessed with the blockbuster. They've lost the appetite for smaller returns
because of what we were just saying.
Instead of making, that they feel like they need these billion-dollar returns. For some reason, instead of making 10 films that all are making profit, are coming in on budget and are making consistent profit, they would rather have like one big huge film that they would want to gamble on.
Yeah.
Jason Blum kind of does what you're talking about. He produces low budget horror movies and takes the double his budget back. But those are small potatoes. Something I was talking about, kind of off of what you were saying, Catrew. Hollywood lately, in relation to blockbusters, seems to be infatuated with the universe, the sequel, the franchises, where I don't know, that's not storytelling. Like what I was taught just 15 years ago was tell a story, tell a contained story that has an ending. And Hollywood suddenly, especially with the big budget stuff, plays out like television, where tune in next time for sequel. And it's like, that's not what movies are, that's television.
Because it's financially driven. Remember, the IP is more important to them. So
yeah, because you can milk it.
If you make one movie and it comes to an end, that's less profitable than a universe with stars that they pack in, they package it, and they know they have Robert Downey for this many on contract. And so they're just going to treat, they're going to tease you at the end of that and come back for the same one rather than moving into new territory. It's just the path of least resistance from a business standpoint.
Well, and I was going to say that.
No, get in, say finish, and then we'll get back to the video because
one of the things that I've been having pop into my head throughout this conversation is that filmmaking, not just as an industry, but also as the art form itself, is a very complicated thing. Movies themselves as a media format are a combination of many different types of media put together into one cohesive piece of art. And when it comes to movie reviews, what somebody is going to value as an aspect of filmmaking over another aspect of filmmaking is going to vary individual to individual. So it's one of those things that you can't necessarily assume what somebody is going to value. And you can parse that out through what is said and through what is not said. And that phenomena of being able to read between the lines is something that Stuckman is kind of dealing with right now. Because if he's in a position where he doesn't want to criticize the art or the people making it, he will end up omitting criticisms. And when that starts becoming a pattern, what's not said can say volumes. His Madam Web video is a prime example of that, where he said, there are a lot of people who are crapping on this movie, and because I want to celebrate films and not trash them, I'm not going to talk about Madam Web.
Yeah, that's basically
which is him saying that he thinks it's trash.
Yeah, but he can't say it. But he's not going to... What people want, what we spoke about when we initially brought this up was what is film critique and what is film review and things like that. And it was about, when somebody does a film critique, they'll go into the technicality of it and also just go into the storytelling of it. And they'll say how something could have been done better, or they'll say why it was. One of the things I absolutely love doing is literally figuring out why you don't like something. That I love that. Like why I like something, why I don't like something, I want to figure it out. And that's what we like here. And you would lose out on all that insight just so that you can only celebrate, which I don't feel like. I feel like you're missing things with that. But let's get back. I mean, we'll get. We've just got a few more minutes. Let's go.
YouTube be what it was. I talked about movies every few weeks, enjoyed it, met filmmakers. So part of me felt like I was kind of in that world, and it was allowing me to hush those filmmaking urges that I've always had. But eventually they started resurfacing considerably when I'm really seeing how much work goes into even your average not so great movie. I just don't feel like doing that anymore. I don't want to talk negatively about filmmakers. I don't want to trash filmmakers. It would be strange for me to be making movies and also shitting on other filmmakers. Also, and I can tell you this from experience.
Okay, so actually that's one thing I would like to go on before we continue. Like that's it. One of his main things is that I'm going to stop. I've noticed what's really difficult about filmmaking, So I'm going to stop talking about it. I'm not going to shit on movies. I'm just only going to do nice things.
Well, he said filmmakers.
Yeah, filmmakers.
And it
sorry.
kind of
Yeah.
goes back to what I was saying before. Like, sure, a
Criticize
director.
the art.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well,
So Warren,
a good
what's your take
a good
on
example actually is I am have been doing this review on this one guy's work on liberalism, and I find his analysis and conclusions to be really poor. Now, he recently got a degree from a university, and I wouldn't want to take away from the work that it took to get that degree, but but what he's doing with it, I very much do criticize. I think that it's great that he was able to achieve or earn this diploma. Obviously, it takes a lot of work, but those two, and so I definitely separate those two things. Whether or not you're able to make the movie and complete this project and get it out the door in order for people to see and appreciate or criticize and whatnot, that's amazing. And not to take away from that work, but then you also then will want to go in and watch when you're watching the movie, you can kind of analyze how well things were achieved, what the film was going for. There's different types of analysis you can do. You can definitely just talk about like what the film was trying to achieve, what you got out of it, these kinds of things that are a lot more subjective, or you can talk about like how well a scene is constructed, what could be done to improve it.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
That isn't criticizing the work that the people did on the film itself.
Yeah,
I feel like it should be known that these aren't the same.
Yeah. Well, Warren, what is your take on that? You know how difficult it all is. You literally do. So does that mean that you know what position he's in? You were talking about all of the fact that I can't criticize because it's all very insular and it's all very gatekeepy and blacklisty and all of that. Those are all absolutely adjectives. Those, you can see that that's why he would not want to criticize. But principally, do you think it's okay to be criticizing? And like Catrew said, and like Charles said, you can criticize a film without criticizing the exact people and blaming people and hating on people. Like, this is art. That's always going to be, you're always going to be criticized for what comes out.
Yeah. Let's if we put ourselves in his shoes, he's found a level, he's achieved a level to where he's now being approached. I wouldn't be surprised if he's been approached to write a book about film or film reviews, and he's obviously been approached for some reason that has caused him to change his behavior. He's probably thinking, okay, when it comes to Madam Web, which I haven't seen, but there's already, this space has become flooded. It's become saturated with review. He's probably thinking, what is the value here for me? Now, I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm just trying to understand his, position. There's already so many people posting about this movie. Am I going to gain more? Because my end goal is to actually make something. Now, is it worth me? I already have the audience. I've already achieved the level I want to achieve. Is it better for me to slyly slip out and then go for what he does want to do, or make another Madam Web video feeling though, now I disagree with the whole concept of how the industry is shaped and the fact that you can't criticize a movie. But I feel he's probably trying to distance himself from being a reviewer. He said it himself. People are going to write articles saying movie reviewer turned. So he's trying to flip that ahead now. He's trying to get ahead of the ball and start positioning himself more as a filmmaker and probably distance himself from that.
Well, if it helps, there's a large amount of evidence to suggest that he doesn't Well, he's very interested in using his YouTube channel to make money while not necessarily being honest or ethical. He will take sponsorships from people who are like BetterHelp, which has been proven to be very unethical.
Okay, that's another conversation.
Yeah.
It is. That's quite a long thing.
What I do want to we thinking.
So, but I
about,
think
like,
it goes hand in hand where he could be making he doesn't have to be making reviews, but he still puts out videos that at least function as reviews, but while not saying that he won't be critical and such.
That's what I was
to be
gonna say to
fair,
Warren.
it's not really a review anymore now that he wants to celebrate film. So he hasn't done that in like 3 years since he put out this video. But
So yeah,
I don't know.
Like,
he watched what was it? Blade Runner. He said he's like, I didn't get Blade Runner, so I watched it like over and over and over until I did. Right? He talks the way the structure of his videos function as reviews, whether or not he is like, they're not celebrations, they're like a few minutes long, and he just goes over like who's in the film, who made the film, and a couple of other things. They function as reviews. He's making review-ish content while saying
that's what I
that,
want to say.
I mean, because they're not celebrations, they're not long enough to be
But
celebrations.
what Warren has said is he's trying to remove. So the way that you've seen him, you're saying, okay, this is a good move for him to remove himself from reviews, which is actually, I think it was something we brought up on Thursday, that why not review at all? I think Charles, you said it, or something like that, where it was like, fine, you're saying you don't want to do the YouTube thing of, anymore.
Yeah,
where,
he's still playing for the clicks, right?
Yeah, but so you'll do the positive reviews, but you won't do the negative ones. So rather you immediately, Warren, went to, well, yeah, he's trying to remove himself from the reviewer and become more of the filmmaker, which makes sense to me. That's more holds more integrity to me, because it's like I am moving. Actually. Yeah, Bima?
I don't want to interrupt. Finish what you were saying first.
Well, that's basically what I'm just saying is that one thing about this guy is that he actually, so what struck me as just disingenuous, while I can understand where it came from because of the industry and the way that you've spoken about it, he's stuck with the review bit, but only the positive one, because the negative ones, yeah.
So my question was, and I'm not sure if this is actually relevant, but it's relevant to me, at least. People watch his videos for his takes on movies. So whether he's choosing to do review content or not, people are watching him for that purpose for the most part, I'd assume. I know that I watched him for that when I was watching him. Where do you think this plays a role?
Well, so it's, for me, I'm also trying to be logically consistent in regards to free speech. So who am I? Yes, we have the freedom also to criticize. He has the freedom to make whatever the heck he wants.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And people are going to evolve. And so, but that is an interesting point you all raised about his sponsorships and the ethical questions around. So I'm trying to think about with my channel, if I'm branded as a critical thinking person, and then I start doing just movie reviews, would there be a problem there, an ethical problem? I would hope not. And I'm just going to try, I would strive to just do it anyways, but that's why I said that's another conversation, just meaning not that we can't have that conversation, but it's a different, and also I'm not trying to make a comment on whether it's right or wrong. I'm just trying to understand possibly what his motivation, so that we can contend with him more.
Right. He used to have a series that was super negative reviews, and he has not taken those down. They do have a whole bunch of views, but
just one thing.
Oh,
look,
hello, Hydra.
Look who has arrived. We have a Hydra.
Yay, Hydra.
full house. Everyone just wants to come and speak to Warren. I understand. So will Hydra just could you just quickly introduce yourself? We'll get back to the conversation, but
Super quickly,
Hydra.
I'm joining you all from the cradle of Mother Nature itself with a terrible microphone. So looking for feedback over here. Just to quickly introduce myself, I'm a modder. I want to be a game designer. That is my dream. That is what I'm working on. And I'm the guy who advocates for conversations, civilized conversations, always. For example, right now there are people in chat who I think brought up some grain points before as critique to some things that I talked about in the past. And I'm someone who would like to arrange conversations between them and me, maybe on stream, maybe off stream, and always advocate for civilized people being able to like disagree and have a normal convo. I'm not particularly good at it, unfortunately, but I do think that's something that as us as humans need to get back into, I'd just say. So I'm the kind of guy who wants conversations.
Okay.
You sell yourself short, Hydra.
Yeah.
Hydra has the
That's
most
for others to
clippable
decide.
rants.
He's got the best rants. Oh my gosh.
So
And that too, when I get pissed off, yes. Unfortunately, I have a tendency to go on
He
rants.
doesn't like films. He doesn't really like films. He doesn't really watch them, but he will tell you all about
unfortunately.
games. Yeah.
No, I tell it's not particularly that interested in films, but I do know a bit more about the about film reviewers and what kind of impact they have on the internet, and that is why I feel I may have something to add in to this conversation even today, but not particularly that much about the film industry itself, unfortunately.
One more question though: are there cats around you? I have summoned them.
Right now, no, but they usually arrive rather quickly whenever I come to these parts of the woods, so to speak. So
Make
yes,
sure to
I
count
also
them
have the
for us when they
tendency
do show
to attract cats wherever I go. So that too.
I mean, we've got two of us over here, so it's fine. We'll be fine. So look, that's it. Shall we get quickly? Shall I put this video on faster so we can get through it?
Yeah, that might help. Yeah.
I'll be good. Everybody be good. But it's just I know I stopped it last. Also, Warren is an honorary thinker, so he can tell us to pause if he wants.
Yeah. You get kind of excited because you realize, oh, like I could really like make a good review of this, and I could really talk about all the problems with this and just really let them know how shitty they did. I find no joy in that anymore. I just don't. A few years back, I stopped doing my worst of the year videos for that same reason. And ever since then, I've had a tough time enjoying negativity about film because I love film so much and I want to be a champion for film. So I am going to distance myself from film criticism and embrace film appreciation. I don't want to have to go see movies that I feel like I just don't want to see, that probably won't be great. I don't want to waste my life away doing that. I never wanted to be a film critic forever. I just did it for fun. And I'm still going to talk about movies. I'm still going to do my Halloween special every year. I fucking love my Halloween special because it's just me talking about horror movies I like. But I'm not going to grade movies anymore. So there's going to be some shifts on here. It's a bit of an evolution. I'll always champion films that I see that I think are great and that I'd like you guys to see. But I also know that it could get old when I'm just always talking about movies I like. And I understand that. I get that for some people, they might be like, oh, now he's just going to, I wonder what he thinks of this movie. He did a video for it. I wonder if he liked it. Like, I get it. But I have to be happy as a person. I have to. And if I'm going to be making films, then I want to support other people who are as well, because I'll be happier and I'll actually be sharing things that could potentially be helpful and not just being a cog in an oversaturated wheel of entertainment that just keeps going and going, talking about whatever the big movie is, just kind of being drowned.
There is nothing wrong with what he's saying right now, by the way.
Constantly wanting to mock other people's achievements, whether or not they're good.
So
or not.
I think that he puts himself in a really good light here, and if he was doing just this, I feel like it would be okay. But again, when you watch his videos, there isn't really a lot. There isn't much film appreciation. This is what I was talking about with looking at his sponsorship. He treats a lot of his YouTube content like a job. Like he's putting out content obligatory in order to get money. And what he's saying in the video, therefore, right? Like, can we really trust it? Is he a trustworthy source of information, of opinion? Because there's so many there's several points of obligation from his that we can see in his content that it makes me doubt like all of his work because of like all of his recent work, because he is admitting that he doesn't want to be negative, right? So it's just
I can
it just makes me question him.
This is interesting because I understand now after hearing that last segment where you all are coming from with this as being completely oblivious to this prior to this conversation. It does feel, it reminds me of something, of someone else. It feels a little icky, but I can recognize, I've seen this before. I love the Tolkien professor, Corey Olsen. I don't know if anyone in chat knows Signum University. Corey Olsen, Rings of Power comes out. He was known for being the Tolkien professor, and I love what he does with Signum University. I actually have been a fan of his for a long time. Rings of Power comes out. They invite a select group of YouTubers to fly and watch the first episode. Then he goes and gives a review, and it echoes. It's almost the exact same message as what I'm hearing here, where he got a lot of flack from this, from Nerdrotic and people like that, because he was saying, I am no longer I'm not interested in critique. I'm not interested in being a critic or offering a review of Rings of Power, which is very convenient because you're still taking this high road while evading completely anything that could require you to actually point out flaws as flaws.
It makes the high road feel fake.
And what I would say in addition to that, if you do what the true high road, if you do truly love this space, then try and save this space, which can only be done through pointing out the flaws. When we see one movie at the Oscars, say, this is actually a remarkable thing. What is going on here? Talk about when a movie does come out and we see this talk about a machine with cogs. That's the machine and being a cog in a larger wheel. It's so if you really do love the movies, then do what is necessary to save them. That would be my feedback to him, if I could give that, rather than this other evasive.
Hydra,
if I could add something onto this is, again, the positive part that I would give, the good side of what he's doing is that he's clearly trying to be honest and transparent about how he feels and what he wants to do. And I always appreciate that. That's always a cherry on top for me, because I see that people nowadays just lack honesty so often and hide what they are truly meaning to say, etc. All those kind of maneuverings in conversations that I dislike. So I appreciate when someone is just straightforward about their feelings. But
is he being consistent though? Like
Right.
he
That's
hasn't
my
taken down
issue.
any of his negative reviews, and he still has. So he stopped making
That
those
was one
worst
of our-
10 lists.
that's
but
the
they're
second
still up.
part of my argument, is that it falls short of establishing a consistent moral standard. Is that he has given us a feeling and like a vague, rather unfortunately nebulous motivation of like, this is why I'm going to stop, that kind of doesn't really convey of like, oh, it just feels bad, sort of, or I don't exactly recall the words he was using, but they weren't really definitive. And instead of that, if he would have said, this would be beneficial for me potentially to talk up my own work and continue criticizing others always in a negative light to potentially promote myself, and that is not consistent in my moral standards, and therefore I will stop and disable monetization of all of my videos and will not produce this kind of content again, then I think very few people would have had issues with what he decided to do, because then at least we would have the clear view that you're consistent with your standards, you believe you're trying to do the right thing, and you're doing it honestly. But that second part is just missing. It's not clearly laid out, and therefore we have this kind of guesswork to do of what exactly he means, what exactly he's trying to do, and how it doesn't quite fit because he's still gaining money, he still has that part up, and it kind of feels off with potentially bad motivations that we cannot confirm but deny either. So it doesn't, it's not really great, unfortunately.
And there was that other option that we did discuss where he doesn't say that he's doing this, he just does stop. He just stops. Doesn't have to virtue signal about it. He actually
But he also
just does.
He also announces that he wants to be happy. He's been happy, this, that, the other thing. He still watches movies on the reg. So, especially considering he's sponsored by a mental health website, why not, when he does experience something that doesn't make him happy, work together with Better Health and be like, hey, I know I celebrate movies, but this movie didn't really make me feel great.
This movie sucked. No.
Psychological, emotional damage. Yeah.
That's a good point. Could I just jump off that real quick? So,
Yeah, please.
I did. So before any of my viral, whatever, I did a little short video on Sherlock, and you can find it on my channel. And it's talking about why Sherlock failed from my perspective. And I made that video, and I think I believe I say in that video, I really was a fan of this show, and I loved this show, which is why I was making that, because I was very disappointed to see the decline in the later episodes. And then I tried to identify where that was, but it was coming from a place of, because I love this content so much. So it's possible, again, to try and save the thing that you love. You can still come at it from a positive place. So it does,
right.
There's something off about it. And because I've seen, if I didn't see other people in a similar position do the exact same thing, and it didn't work for Corey Olsen, unfortunately. And I love you, Corey, but like he got, I think a lot of people lost respect for him in the long run, because that was before Rings of Power came out. Then it came out and people were like, whoa, dude, you're the Tolkien professor. How could you not have
How did you allow this?
thing?
Yeah.
And then you lose credibility. So you've got to stand up for what you care about, regardless of how it lands with an audience.
Right. And plus the studios.
Go ahead.
Plus the studios see everybody's saying positive things, otherwise no notes, and they think, yeah, we're doing all right, whether or not they have something to do with that. Constructive criticism is still a thing. You can be polite while saying this didn't work for me.
For sure.
Everybody's talking about how crappy a year 2023 was for film, and it's like, well, if we have people like this who are the trusted source not critiquing stuff, then how are they supposed to repair the things that don't work for society?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Hydra to reiterate his what do you call it? His metaphor that he was saying of the basically criticism being like rain.
Oh yes, that's the thing that I said before. But essentially, what I believe is that criticism or critique is ultimately like rain. If you don't get any of it, of course, if we are using a plant metaphor, you will dry out and die, because you will never figure out what you're doing wrong, ever. And if you're constantly just showered in criticism non-stop, the plant will die all the same, because then again, you won't be able to figure out what you're doing wrong, because apparently it's everything. It's a necessary requirement to basically almost any system in society where you go. It will die without it. And it's really important to use it properly, again, in a hopefully civilized and normal way. And I see that, yet again, it's something that humanity is losing its grip on. I see very few people being able to do criticism properly or well. And it's really sad to see it go. But yes, I do think it is very much necessary, but it's rarely done properly nowadays.
Yeah, because you have to know what you're talking about.
Dumpster fire, that is internet criticism.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Warren, you actually know what you're talking about, so you could technically, just because you've spoken about films on your channel, and you're a filmmaker. So the major question, if we talk about what the think is can a film reviewer become a filmmaker, and vice versa?
That is the eternal question of the industry, I would say. Like people, critics get so much, and I can understand it. I've never understood it. I shouldn't say I've never understood it. I think let's think about it, before the advent of YouTube, it was something that was a bit, like all they do, it felt almost as though they wished they were making movies, but they couldn't. So they just resorted to that. Now in this new space of content creation, it's changed. It's become something more, and I do think it has the potential. It's become something more of a positive. I think it has the potential to actually help the overall product. So,
who was the guy we brought up last Thursday? Oh, sorry, it's Roger Ebert, the film critic. Yeah, he made a movie and it was awful.
Well,
yeah,
subjectively.
I don't know him.
Just because you are a critic of movies or you can tell when a movie is bad does not mean that you can make a good movie, right?
Critique and review and creation are all different skill sets, and it's
Putting
interesting.
It together. Yeah.
It's really interesting to see the mass success of so many Kickstarters from film reviewers and film critics in the YouTube space who go on to create things, and they don't seem to have the same impact or that level of quality one would hope for from folks who are perceptibly very good at the critique.
Yeah, for me, it's like if you enjoy the content, if someone is creating a video and criticizing a film and you enjoy it, I mean, go for it. So really, that's the same thing as saying like a competitive marketplace is the best, least bad option. So we just let the marketplace do its thing. If someone's intelligent, I don't think you have to have made a movie to be able to have insight on movies and point obvious flaws. Which is why, I mean, the people that are most successful in this space, I don't believe have yet. I mean, Critical Drinker, I don't think he's made a movie yet, or he's working on one. Okay, yeah, but that's even before he had come out with that. He became that such a large presence because of his technique, his humor, his content, and that's okay. So we don't have a right to police this. So I'm not. It is an eternal question that I don't have a great answer to. I think just let people do their thing and let the audience decide.
Yeah, so it's the best we
We're
can
just
do.
pondering it.
Look,
one might even say thinking.
We are closing off this. Let's close off this topic. Sorry guys, I don't want to finish this video because I actually do want to talk about this with with Warren.
Nice. The Song of Ice and Fire.
What is ASOIAF?
The Song of Ice.
Like the one book you read.
God.
So so listen. Closing off. Final thoughts on the. Basically, look, we said to Warren, hey, here's a video. We just showed it to him now. So thank you so much for just applying the method. Go see the video. And just coming along with us and understanding our perspectives, understanding his perspective, asking the right questions, and giving us also a bit of your expertise. And you have a bit more. Charles and Dorkus have a bit more of the background of what goes into filmmaking, but I wanted to hear it from you.
I'm a failed filmmaker. I don't know what you're talking. I know how to suck.
But you know what it means to make a film, because actually one of the worst things that I hate, last thing about this is that he said it, the way he phrased it at one point was like, he knows how difficult it is, so he won't criticize it. And it's like,
that's terrible. You are making it more difficult by that choice, because essentially you are choosing, well, they invested so much time and effort into it. I don't want to potentially help them in the long term if I maybe hurt them in the short term. It's an insult, basically, but that's just my opinion.
That's interesting.
And there's also a dichotomy going on there between the way that Hollywood operates, in California, and the way that New York operates with its style of criticism, where they're brutal and they'll cut you down. Whereas Hollywood won't say anything mean whatsoever. They'll just won't give you any feedback.
Love bomb.
Yeah,
even
there's a reason I love New York crowds. I've been booed plenty of times in New York.
I'll boo you right now.
It's honest.
On the internet
it's
too.
honest.
Yeah, exactly. I would much rather appreciate somebody cutting me down and giving me the feedback than just giving me some love bomb.
Right.
Which is what I
Well,
wanted
and
to.
I-
How I bring. Sorry, Galente. After you, then I'll finish this.
Well, and I feel like this stream is kind of proof of the concept that ties into the Stuckman video, that you can criticize while being empathetic and sympathetic. None of us here are just shitting on Chris Stuckman, but we are offering feedback that might be negative, but in hopes of him doing better. Like, you can critique
I would
things
always hope that
while still
yeah.
being empathetic.
It's never too late for anyone. To get
And the
better.
golden road would lie, obviously, between the we are going to completely cut you down with no mercy, and you cannot do anything wrong. We just focus on only the good parts. Because
Exactly.
neither
So
of them
that's
are helpful in the long term.
That's
Yep.
what I wanted to bring forth with actually Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire. Because George R. R. Martin was talking about fandom, and what it meant to be a fan was to love something, right? And then we started getting things that made fans unhappy, because what they loved about things was being taken out of them. And things were being insulted that they loved. So that was, people were having a problem with that, and they were rightly so, saying, hey, this is not right. The market was saying, hey, this is not right. A whole market sprung up of critiquing those bad things, literally nerdrotic exploding, that, you know, like that whole sphere, okay, going on. That happened, and what George R. R. Martin takes from that is, no, it's become toxic. So there is, like, wait, I understand there are people that are irrational, okay, when it comes to this sort of thing, but the criticism, I don't want it to shut down the storyteller. What I want to ask you before we go into that is, have you read the books? I know you've watched the show.
Me?
Warren.
Yes. I have not. I have read part of the first one. They're pretty long. I haven't read them.
Yeah.
Okay, you're in the same camp as me then.
I thought you said
this
you'd
is a
read
good
it multiple
topic,
times.
Jon Snow's real mother is Samwell Tarly.
Oh,
Spoilers.
it's a new one. No, also that's why I said, regardless of whether you've read the book or not, you talk about storytelling on your channel. You like Brandon Sanderson's discussion of story, design
structure,
and things like that. Yeah, and structure. You like diagrams. You got them on your whiteboards there, I see. So
Warren's cool, guys.
Yeah. So basically, one of the questions that we asked this week is, or what has always been asked actually for the past 11 years, is what is taking George R. R. Martin so long in finishing the books? Yeah.
Also, to clarify, I was not being sarcastic there. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
I don't even know who that is.
He's probably thinking, this will be my guess. Okay, if I go back and rewrite a book that's already been published to screen, I'm not introducing, yes, there's a fandom that wants that, or because time is money in this industry, especially. Is it better for me to allocate my time towards these new projects that are in development, those House of the Dragon, things that are already on screen, developing new content, so I can strategically, I could actually understand, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I could understand the motivation for putting your attention towards what is actually being funneled towards the screen rather than what's already reached the screen. This is a great example, though, because where did that go wrong? It's when George R. R. Martin was pulled out. Right. As soon as that happened, the writing went down. So, and I think I really disagree with the toxic fandom approach. This whole idea of it's wrong for the Rings of Power. We keep saying this over and over. Because again, this is because you love something, you are trying to point out the flaws. And I think also George R. R. Martin was frustrated. I can't imagine being in his position and not being frustrated. And then it seems that if you were then to see that echoed through a fandom, you would feel, oh, they're all saying, they're all recognizing the fact that they diverted from where I was going and then they ruined it. That would actually validate you, George. It's not. So I don't know where, I haven't heard. I don't quite understand why he would just be calling it toxic. It's actually vindicating him. So, I guess that's all I have.
one of the theories is, okay, so the ending of the show is what the books is going to end. Like, I don't know, what do we call it? Do we call it a theory? It's kind of accepted. I don't know.
Yeah.
People say, I
He
was
said
told.
that. Well, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
said?
said that it will. There will be elements from the book, or sorry, in the book from the show, but there will also be things that are different. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty not. That's a relatively non-committal answer, but my guess is that what he's trying to say there is that the main plot points are true from the ending, probably what they got from George, but that the execution of what they chose to highlight and what they chose to like play out, right, the ending is going to be what's different.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say with so what Warren said there about the him being vindicated by people being frustrated. He could also decide to take it that, oh my gosh, my ending, that they hated my ending because that's what it was. Like, oh, the decline of Daenerys and all of that is what people were hated about it, and now I'm not going to write that story, or I'm avoiding writing that story because I'm scared of. I can imagine, and I won't.
There's got to
Scared
be pressure.
is a negative word, but the pressure is like it. You saw this big TV show, the best TV normies all over the place, loving this show. People that didn't know anything about fantasy loving the show and going into this world and starting reading fantasy books and everything because of him, and then it just all goes to shit. But part of it was what you wanted your story to turn into. Like your video, the reason that I wanted to put this as one of our topics is your video was about the dangers of the utopia, like being that whole message of starting off fighting against the slavers, and then all of a sudden it was all of a sudden, kind of, considering how they did it in the show, just burning down everything. And yes, that is actually a worthwhile message to put out, and I think what we want as fans is just put it out in the book because we want the book version. That's what I would love to encourage him to do, is that, listen, it's not about us being toxic about what happened there. It's more like, no, we want to hear it from you. We want even if that is the ending, we know you could have done it better. But then even on top of that, there's pressure.
Yeah. If one more thing, if I could point out something, is that I've seen a lot of profound frustration with, how long is it taking for him to return to the story or get to the next book, next chapter, etc. My perspective on this is unfortunately limited because of me not being a Game of Thrones fan and being more so of a gamer. But because of this, I think I can point out actually that I've seen a lot, surprising amount of uproar when it was announced that, for example, George R.R. Martin was writing for Elden Ring, and a lot of people felt betrayed of like, oh my god, this is what he chose to work on. Like, I thought you were doing the next book. Like, how dare you are betraying your promise? You decide to do something else. You're not even to continue the project, etc. And even afterwards, that it seems to have still lingered, and it seems to still be there because there are still, for example, memes being thrown around about, like, I don't know, Miyazaki talking to George R.R. Martin about like, hey man, I know you won't be able to finish this story, but don't worry, this is our specialty. Our fans will always finish our stories for us. And George R.R. Martin is like, oh, you can do that?
That's great.
So I've seen still a lot of frustration. I can sense a hint, although I'm not really in this bubble, but I can sense that it's somehow worse as an effect rather than just a writer really taking their time for other reasons, but that it's really, really much more pressured, and it's a different situation than anything other that you could compare it to. That is my limited perspective, but I think it's important because it means that people take a stance differently, I guess. It's just, it's different, that's all I can say.
So my question actually was pretty related to that. So George R.R. Martin I mean, he's taken a long time to work on this book to the point where it's become a long time joke of like he'll never finish it. Is it actually confirmed whether he's actually working on it or not?
Oh, it is.
Because because as far as I know, he doesn't really have to finish the book. He's made enough money now. He literally doesn't
Well,
have
I think
to.
that's what Warren was kind of getting towards, is that he's going,
Yeah.
he's focusing on,
No,
he can make the decision to focus on things that are coming to fruition, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like
he's
what
more
Warren said, the
interested-
series is already finished in the show. So
Yeah.
does he really have to finish it?
No,
We
he's
just
much
want
more
it better,
interested
okay?
in making other things. He's
Does he
not
have a moral
interested as
obligation
much
to
in
finish?
the books, it seems, because he's 75. He's not in great health. He, even if he published what was it, Winds of Winter today, there's no guarantee that a Dream of Spring will come out like before he passes away. So
And he's not going to let Brandon Sanderson finish it or anything.
it doesn't seem like he's interested in a ghostwriter. Otherwise, he
No.
could do that, even if he was like critiquing and rewriting a ghostwriter's script. So I don't know.
Could I just quickly say that would be so unfortunate for him to pass away and never finish this, and then we just have, we had the show that is universally judged as having utterly and completely like destroyed the franchise in the eyes of many, or like even segmented people and have sown the seeds of hatred toward this and that, etc. And then we just have the actual books and they don't get finished, and people are just standing as like, well, I guess it ends here, or you can continue there, but that's not really great. That wouldn't
Kind of
be
go in the face
good.
of that though. Like, would the show have been better if it didn't have the last 2 seasons?
That's someone who knows the show better than me can answer that. But from what I hear, the deviation before that was already, there were murmurings even long before
Fair enough.
that.
You could go last 3 seasons, but yeah.
Did the show? Listen, I'm kind of in the dark on all this. Did the show create its own set of fans? I mean, I know Lord of the Rings.
Yes, very much so. They definitely knew the show more than the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
The show got a lot of people into the book. Unlike
And there's obviously, the way things work with normies is that the TV
us
or
alone.
movie adaptation usually is more popular than the books. Unfortunately.
Pictures are better to look at.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
general. Sorry, just last general thoughts. I want more Warren talking instead of me. So wait, would you adapt a book if you could? Would you adapt a book for film or TV? Would that be something you would be interested in?
Oh, I would love to. It would depend on if there was a book that I thought would make a great movie. I would love to. Yeah, I know off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I don't have one in mind at the moment, but yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, yeah, and I guess what do you think of the difference between the mediums? See, we saw.
Yeah.
What
Let's think
needs
about
to
Harry
stay?
Potter, for example. I keep going back to that, but because that's
Really?
that's it's the first one that comes to mind because it did have such an impact on me as a kid. Like, so I was seeing, and they wrote Harry Potter in such a way that he's sort of a blank canvas for us to project ourselves onto, which is why he doesn't have a lot of personality. I guess you could say that about Twilight and other characters as well, but so I'm seeing when it's going through, when I'm experiencing the book mentally, it does resonate on a completely different level. There's something interesting about the comment that people prefer to look at pictures though over reading. I think it's more accessible. It's easier to digest. It takes less time. Though if you're reading a really well-written story, there's a sense that it's just you in the book. And this is my story. I remember reading Harry Potter. I was the same age as Harry Potter each week. Yeah. So, and it was like, I didn't feel like anyone else was even reading it. And then it became a phenomenon and it felt very strange. And when it felt private, it was just something more special. And you can't get that. I'm not sure. Sometimes you find a little indie film and you sort of get something similar to that. Yeah, and then you get that's where the kind of the cult phenomenon, the cult following on certain movies that are smaller. I think it comes out of that idea. But so for me, it is dependent on the story though too. There's a lot of movies that are better than the books.
It's inevitable. Change of medium is gonna cause changes, but and going back to the RP discussion, there are certain things in an RP that you should hold on to, and it seems like they don't hold on to those things, and you're always going to upset someone. Someone's going to say, that's not how I saw Harry Potter, that's not how I imagined this and that person, this casting's horrible. We did fan casting for Mistborn on the other channel, and we had mostly similar things, but some of the stuff was like, what? Everybody has something different in their mind. And
Chris, score for Breeze, please.
For Breeze?
Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
But I actually had a question for you, Warren.
Yeah.
And this is a fun one. And if you were to adapt a movie from a video game, which would you choose?
Oh.
Is he a gamer? We didn't even ask him.
I am a gamer.
Please clip that. That is a great quote.
Yeah. We are doing that. Tom,
I am a gamer.
I am a gamer.
Okay, thoughts on Monster Hunter?
I'm not sure off the top of it. I'm trying to think. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima might be. I just have it sitting here. I was thinking
that could be pretty cool.
The Witcher could have been a lot better, obviously.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have one off the top of my head, but
how about a Monster Hunter adaptation?
I haven't gotten big into Monster Hunter, to be honest with you. But
I feel like a really
game.
Because there's
like
such a deep story there.
Yeah.
There's a really challenging game that would be difficult to transfer over to a film, and I'd love to see it done correctly, but I have no idea how. And that'd be Soma, because it tackles a lot of really existential thoughts.
Hydra is gonna make a noise.
it's one of those games that unless you are the person in that active experience, it's hard to see how you can communicate it. Oh, it does. And I'd love to see it put to film, but I don't know how you could.
A quick note on that, if I may.
You may not. Kidding.
What I'd like to say is that is something that's very important, that jumping such a gap between mediums is incredibly difficult, even for people who are otherwise very skilled in either field, because not only you're taking someone else's work, but you are dealing with fundamentally different perspectives and dimensions of storytelling. Like, how would you do the inner monologue of Atreides Paul Atreides from Doin? Like, that's a challenge that normally you can't use the same method as in a book, obviously. So you have to do something else as a movie writer, or you have to cut it down so it can fit into like a movie runtime, etc. And it's extremely difficult to do even for skilled individuals. And I think a lot of frustration in regards to this has been gotten worse throughout the years, because there is this growing perception that this rather difficult task of handling something so challenging and working with potentially such great IP, the universal franchises, has been handed to people that aren't ready, don't know how to do it, or in some cases even hate the source material. And ultimately, that is what I think leads to us getting shows like The Witcher, which could have been absolutely amazing, or even the Halo franchise that has another TV show about it that they're making a season 2 for some reason, where all you would have needed to do is make each mission a simple one part of the series, and everything is literally laid out for you. You would have just needed to do an action scene, do another action scene, do another action scene, exactly as in the missions, and watch the cash roll in. But for some reason, the people they gave it to thought that they could do better than the absolutely legendary and genre-defining phenomenon, the lightning in the bottle that was Halo. So I think there is, again, a lot of frustration, people being angry, don't know what to do, feeling targeted or otherwise searching for targets in this area, whereas just, again, people break down and don't quite understand or lack what is happening because of this phenomenon.
Yeah. I would piggyback off the question about what book would I like to bring to film, and it's for the very same reason what you were just talking about. It's all there in the book. Would be Artemis Fowl. I would really like to actually make that.
Oh
correct.
That'd be
yeah,
cool to see a good version.
that's a deep cut. I loved Artemis Fowl growing up.
Yeah, I really loved that book a lot, and it was such a travesty, and it was all there. It's all there on the page. Just do what's there.
Yeah.
So do you think it's fair to criticize the adaptation that is there of Artemis Fowl?
It's awful. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fair.
Wait,
Not only
they
is it
made
fair,
an
yeah.
adaptation?
They made it.
Yeah.
Into a movie.
Yeah.
It's got
Don't
Josh
go-
Gad.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Bimo, I'm so
But,
sorry. Don't watch it.
Oh, I'm
So-
not
so
gonna
what-
watch it.
So the fact is, you're saying it's all there. You just need to translate it to
Yeah.
say, okay, this is like
Yeah.
actually Dorkus keeps saying that about Mistborn with Sanderson. He actually gives you the visual. You can
Yeah.
literally put a storyboard with this sort of stuff.
This
It's
is a great
very
example.
cinematic way.
This is a great example of of the flaws that are in the current system, because you have the formula of Artemis Fowl and what they did. There are rumors, which I think can be confirmed, that they did try initially to make it how it was written, and then the studio said, "Wait, we can't have a children's movie made by Disney with a main character who's a criminal mastermind," and so they took out the very fundamental of the main character, and then the last line of the movie is, "I'm Artemis Fowl, criminal mastermind." It's like, that's the first we've heard of that one, dude. Like, it just,
Yeah.
so
Well,
it's how the
kind
studio
of like
can
how
just-
they, yeah, kind of like how they pulled out Dobby out of the movies, and then
Put it back in.
what's his name? The other guy.
The
They
other-
made all these changes for the
Oh.
books, and then when they got to the end of Harry Potter, they kind of realized that, oh, these elements are really important to the ending story, so let's ham fist them in, and it doesn't really work.
They also they weren't quite sure where the books were even going when they were making the early movies.
And it was
Sure,
different people
exactly,
adapting
yeah.
them too. So
Yeah,
it's
No, I
kind
mean,
of a number
it's a
problem.
challenge, but you're right. It's way more egregious with Artemis Fowl because they were out and they
Yeah,
did have good source material to work from for the whole time.
just that first
That's
book. That's all you needed.
Yeah.
That just makes me think about I've asked you this question, and that's great, and we were all excited about an RP that could come change mediums, and that's what was so exciting. We always wanted that as fans. Like, fans usually just like, oh, I want to see a film that's created like of real time or something. People want that when they're a fan. But then, like you said, now with AI and all of that stuff, the IP on the studios have made IP the thing, and there's nothing actually it's all adaptations. So actually, maybe we need to lay off that stuff. Obviously, if we do have adaptations, I would want people like you to be part of that, because you know that's I don't know, you would have to hold on to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wait, I have a question.
No.
What kind of keyboard do you use?
Oh
my god.
Me?
What's your keyboard?
I have a red dragon that I got.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's good or bad. I
RGB?
just- yeah,
No,
a
yeah,
student
yes.
recommended it, and I got it for like $25 or
Okay.
something.
To everyone
Well,
else, it's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
And
I'm not a PC
Catrew is
gamer,
kind
really.
of a snob here.
Yeah,
We
no,
have
He
a
doesn't
keyboard
like that I
called-
use Logitech.
He's the
Oh,
reason
very
I
nice.
have this.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I build custom keyboards, so
Oh, cool.
yeah,
Oh,
mechanical
okay.
keyboards.
Very cool.
I have a
We're gonna
question for Warren.
You have a question? Because I'm sure he has to go soon.
It seems to be a growing belief among studios and certain, I would say, ideological audience members that you have to be able to see yourself in a character in order to
Yeah, literally see.
like down to the physical traits. I used to have an acting coach that was on the Angry Beavers cartoon, and he said the reason that cartoon worked is because it's a story about brothers. So could you pontificate for a little bit about this idea of having to see yourself on screen in order to enjoy it or for it to be considered good. It's not made for you.
You don't see yourself.
I don't think it's so much as the character, the specific character, seeing ourselves. It's something about the journey. We're thinking about when we're watching something that really connects with us. We're kind of subconsciously thinking about what would I do in that scenario, or that character, Peaky Blinders, Tommy Shelby is going up against these astronomical odds. He's willing to face death. Wow, that's cool. That resonates with me. I hope that I would be able to do that in similar circumstances. Do I see myself possibly in that example, but in not all examples? But it's not so much that's why archetypes work so well. There's this story that we see the world through stories. These stories connect us, and Harry Potter was just packed full of them, which is why it was so successful. The world within a world, this desire that's within us. Now, Harry Potter, there was more of a blank page, but with the movie, you have Daniel Radcliffe. That's different with film. But I think it's more of the story, but there is something about we have to understand where the characters are coming from. We have to understand what they want and what they need, but for us to even be invested, which is one of the flaws we're seeing today. I don't care often. And I don't understand their motivation. It doesn't feel real. So therefore I check out. It's something along those lines. If that answers that, I'm not sure.
I'm satisfied.
It's good because that's another thing that is a very, very deep hole, a very, very profound question that I see a lot of people misunderstanding or not pursuing or not really looking into this thing, because there is a lot of talk again of people they're not really getting of what it means to like resonate with the character is he exactly like me? Do I feel myself represented? And all of these questions that I think people don't really look into and take surface level answers with them and go away and not realizing that there is so much more of this. Is actually a very deep philosophical, profound thing where we could essentially spiral down forever. At least that's how I feel. And instead, we get people who just throw around the basic words like looks or behavior and just not, again, making the conversation work for everyone. That's, again, an issue that I have, that people are not willing to sit down and have the deep conversation, maybe because it's not really fun, or it doesn't get views, or it's difficult, as opposed to just flinging easier, lighter things, words, labels at each other. But it's a thing that I heavily dislike and wish there was more exploration into.
Yeah, The Witcher is a good example where we needed more Geralt, because that's our character. We understand his wants, his desires, his journey. But then when we suddenly introduce these other characters and their journeys, it muddles it, and there's more focus on them, and there's not the same investment in them.
You'll be like, who are you? Like, who the hell is this?
And the executive producers have their own. They're trying to accomplish something which doesn't really even matter. Their reasoning for it, but they're peppering in all these distractions, and it pulls. If you are going to do that, you would have to do something like the early Game of Thrones seasons, where those stories have the same wants versus needs, obstacles, and this is why story structure works, right? And having the first act, the call to action, establishing the world, and again that want versus what you actually need, and usually those are not the same thing, and that's when things get really interesting.
Warren, you were talking about Daily Wire as a interesting second coming of competition for Hollywood. How do you feel about politics affecting filmmaking in either direction? I feel like messaging seems to be the top blanket for a lot of people.
Good question.
Because I was talking about Run, Hide, Fight, and people were like, that Ben Shapiro movie. And I'm like, they bought that movie. They didn't make it. They bought it to distribute. So I don't understand like why politics needs to be the top blanket over stuff like that. It's really confusing.
Yeah. No, and there was a lot of pushback on Lady Ballers because of that. They were saying that was just, it's overtly, it's just doing the same thing on the other side of the spectrum. And I can understand that point of view, though I believe everyone should have the right to make whatever.
Sure.
It's similar to what we were talking about with movie critics on YouTube. I don't care if you've made a movie or not, and you just let the audience decide. That's the beauty of the competitive marketplace. I'm excited. That's why I'm so excited for Pendragon Cycle, because I do not see how a King Arthur story could be infused with politics. And I think that they are striving to do that. They were just having a little bit of fun on the way. So I'm not too concerned by Lady Ballers. I think they were just having fun. So, but I do think that Pendragon Cycle so much hinges on this for them, which is why we are seeing them put so much into it. That's why Jeremy Boring is overseas for months at a time. Brett Cooper's overseas months at a time. These people, like, if you can look at the production diaries they're publishing, and it's remarkable the production scale that they're putting into this. They're going all out, and that's what I respect about them. When they go.
I wasn't even aware of this.
Check it out.
It would behoove them to just make it accessible and not be a Lady Ballers sort of thing, because no, we actually just want to go back to entertainment. That's putting their money where their mouth was.
Yeah, that's what their mission statement was for when they were initially deciding to move into original content. Just imagine the impact of that if they were to create something if it was on the same level of success as Game of Thrones. Suddenly you're pulling in fans that would never have watched it. It's a great move. It's a brilliant move.
I think there will be people that are going to call it all the Ben Shapiro, the Jeremy Boring thing. But if it's good enough, that kind of it goes over. It's unstoppable.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. Sorry, when is that happening? Like, so they're releasing those sort of things.
They're in production, but they're taking a while on it.
Because they want it to be good. But that's another example of the power of story. Why we see the world through stories. Stories have a way of breaking through. It's the signal and the noise that has a way of breaking through politics itself and reaching people in a way that no other medium can, which is why Hollywood has always had so much power. And they know that. They've been think about how the ripple effect from Hollywood across the world since the golden age. The movie stars that come out of Hollywood echo across the world, the trends, the fashion. They knew that power of story. And that's the same reason Daily Wire is saying this is so powerful, this is worth fighting for. And that echoes back to our original conversation about critiquing something because out of the care of saving it, because it is important.
Yeah, plus it's escapism. Like I remember a time where you'd watch this content to escape the real world and not have it cake into your entertainment.
But that doesn't mean that you wouldn't take the messages into your life.
Oh, yeah, as subtext, absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
But Charles,
what are the political things?
Yes.
But Charles, everything is political. Didn't you know that?
God, okay. So listen.
And the funny part is actually everything is political crowd is part of like who's making these movies.
Yeah.
But then the audience, a lot of the time, the average audience does not care about the political beliefs of the person who made it.
Right. Right.
So I don't know. It's just an interesting observation.
Thank you.
I have some strong feelings on that, but we'll have to wait for another day.
Well,
Actually,
no, first
that's a whole long
When
subject.
won't you disagree with me?
We will do it on Thursday, okay? There's always another thing, okay? Just relax. How do we ever run out of topics? We don't, because of this sort of stuff.
True.
Okay, so look, let's do Kthxbai Things, which means that I'm going to ask Warren about what's coming up, what's happening. I said there was a Sagoo, because Cynical Finch asked, what would it take to make your videos longer? And listen, okay, he released a 27-minute video.
Awesome.
He has had a few longer ones. He's figuring it out. Tell us about what's up. Is there what's happening?
I'm really excited. I've just been trying to find my footing and figure out what is the best thing I can do with what I have. And I think last night's episode we filmed it yesterday and immediately published it. So I think it was an important one because, as you said, it was a bit longer. That just kind of came out of, I was trying to keep it short, but because obviously shorter, it's going to be it'll get more views or whatever, but it's really just trying to find what is best for what we're trying to talk about. It's not so much trying to predetermine it, and that's just how that one came out. But it was cool because I feel like something felt right about it, or I feel like we're sort of, and I say we because it's my colleague who is also doing filmmaking with me and operating camera and has been the voice off screen. And so we realized, I was like, let's just address the questions about, are you, because there was a lot of speculation of, are you scripting this to me? Because there's no way this guy could actually be this stupid. And though I would argue he's not, I can understand all his positions and he's not stupid. He's actually really intelligent in real life. We can disagree. And that's what I love about it. He can continuously step up to the plate and take the heat. And so we decided to start out by addressing that, putting that to bed so that we can move forward. Yeah. And now I feel like we are in that place. I'm happy with what we discussed. I think it was important. And we're kind of realizing why we're doing this, because there are things that need to be contended with. There's when he says something or anyone. So in that episode that we play a YouTuber, it doesn't even matter who that YouTuber's name is, because what he is saying represents the ideas that are shared by many. It doesn't matter whose actual mouth it's coming out of, because we're contending with the ideas, not the person. And that then allows us not to have to be bound. Yes, I would love to get specific people on the show, but we're working with what we have. We're a bit limited. I'm hoping Chris Williamson reached out about 10 days ago and asked if
that would be awesome, man.
And I'm hoping that happens. I haven't heard back. I said, 3 days. I'd missed the email, and then 3 days.
Oh, yes.
And I'm a huge fan of his, so that was
for sure
surreal.
He makes some good stuff.
Yeah, I would really love to do that. I think that would be a really interesting, relevant conversation. There's things that we should address in education, and I'm doing my best to do that. Not just in education. If you watch the episode from yesterday, I think that will be indicative of where I think we should go, because it's larger than just educators. Things that are important.
Yeah.
So, but
there were a lot of cool ideas that you brought up in that video yesterday.
Thank you. And as far as the movie stuff,
yeah,
thank you. As far as the movie stuff, like the Secret Scholars movie, it's so rough and tumble, and it breaks all the rules, such as show don't tell. That movie just tells, because we didn't have time to go film. He's talking about, I started out hustling poker, blah, blah. That should be seen on screen. You should see him actually counting cards. Why did we not do that?
The intro is beautiful, though. Like those shots that you have for the opening of it. I imagine you just fill it out more as you get more of a budget or whatever. But
hopefully it's really time, to be honest with you. It's not even budget. It's like, because it would be great to have budget, because then we could actually do more. But it's really just time. It's teaching, and now this has taken up. This is the shift ahead, which is kind of relevant to talking about like Chris Stuckman. I can understand when you're trying to pivot your focus to make the most of what you have. And but my goal is, I would love, people are saying, oh, you should pitch to Daily Wire. Yeah, that would be a dream, just to have the opportunity to pitch. Now they're saying, I don't know if that would be the right movie. That's not the movie. There's another movie within that movie. If that makes sense. The Secret Scholars, the universe that we were talking about, universes and everything, but there's a lot of stories within that space that I hope, there's one specific one that I'm trying to nail down that would, and it actually was all inspired by Harry Potter, right? A world within our world, because the closest thing we have to magic in our world is knowledge, science, magic. A cell phone today, 200 years ago, they would have thought this was magic. It's just magic might be science we do not yet understand. And there's so much about the world we do not understand, and it's so exciting. So it all ties together. I think it'd be cool.
Have you read On Fairy Stories by Tolkien?
I have not read that one.
Essay he wrote?
No, I should check it out.
It is really good. It goes over his thoughts on fantasy and the different subgenres therein. He talks about how fantasy is best handled by adults. It really shines when you give it a level of maturity, and how for children's books, he was fighting against contemporaries that said that children's stories don't need to be good, and he thought that children's stories should be they should, like children's clothes, they should allow room for growth and encourage it.
Yeah. And the industry, keep this in mind, everybody, about the industry knows nothing. We all know that's the essence of what Socrates was even saying. The essence of wisdom is recognizing you know nothing, that explore, question everything, explore everything. And it became, yeah. And anyways, I forgot where I was going with that, but about, J.K. Rowling, because when J.K. Rowling originally pitched Harry Potter, the publishers, don't get excited. Children's books don't make any money. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Than the Queen of England. So
Yeah.
that's the industry we're in, and hopefully it changes. And you all are doing excellent work. And thank you for having me on. This is very important.
I have one final question for you, sir.
We will let him go. We're like,
we'll do it again. I'll come back. I'll do it again.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
We'll keep you to
That sounds like a handshake.
Statement of appreciation.
Statement of appreciation. Yes.
But it's a really quick question, and if you have an answer, that's fine. If you don't, that's also fine. Okay, so I already asked you about adapting video games, but what about book series? If you were to adapt a book or book series into a film that you would make,
Where you been?
what would it be?
Artemis
He
Fowl.
said Artemis Fowl.
Artist Fowl? Okay,
say
that's
that.
what I was thinking you were going to say. I just wanted to be sure, because I'm totally down for that. I love Artemis Fowl and the book series. It made me feel very nostalgic to hear that you love those books, because I haven't thought about them in years.
It just should have been. It needs to be. I feel so bad for the author, Owen Colfer.
Best take on fairies.
Yeah, I know.
And
But anyways,
the way you speak about it makes me want to see what you would do with it.
oh, I would
Yeah.
love it. That movie. Like my screen name used to be Artemis Fowl on everything. It was-
Approach the Daily Wire
That's awesome.
saying,
He's a
"What if you
gamer,
bought the
guys."
license to this?"
That's the problem, though, is that what Disney owns it now. They're gonna.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think you'll get anything out of their hands.
They sat on it for.
No.
Robert De Niro bought that originally. Sat on it for 10 years. Because I was asked this question in film school back in 2000.
what if he played Artemis?
And I said I would love to make Artemis Fowl, and we looked it up, and they said, "Oh, De Niro has the rights." But I don't know how it went from him to Disney. I don't know. He might have been a producer on it, but-
Well, I mean, gives us right back to the studio question of like, what are studios doing these days? But
True.
we will let you go, although we don't want to.
Yes.
But we will
I'll be back. We'll do it
allow you.
again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me,
Thanks so
Kitty. Thank you so much for all your support. I really do appreciate it. All of you guys are really
Thank
cool.
you.
We'll do this again. Keep
Thanks
it up.
for
Yeah,
stopping
thanks
by.
for coming.
Cheers, Warren.
It's great
Alright.
having
Thank you for being here.
Great.
Cheers. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
What a guy!
What a
What
guy!
a way.
Yeah.
What a
That was
guy.
great. Yeah. And we
Just
will look
as he
at
has
us,
left,
guys.
the cats have arrived. Okay.
Oh!
Right now, right here is one that is rolling over in front of me, like demanding
So
pets.
Warren is like an anti-cat thing. Is
Yes,
that what you're
as soon as
telling
she
me?
left, the cats have arrived. Obviously, this has implications upon the universe as we know it.
He blots out whatever aura I give.
A balance in the
There you
force.
go.
Yes, if you will.
So there was something that was said earlier that I wanted to address, but we just kept moving into the subject, and I didn't want to like pull us back. But there was something that we said, it was like about how relevant is it to you to literally see yourself in a film, like the visibility, and that a lot of that ties into the weird diversity changes that have been made in how movies are made, if that makes sense. Where it's the belief that I cannot like this movie or enjoy this movie unless I literally see myself in it. And that really frustrates me, because one of my favorite movies is I Am Legend. And I am not literally Will Smith, sadly.
Right.
Well, have you tried Omega Man, though? You might relate to it a little bit more. You could be Charlton Heston. That one is kind of amazing. But yeah, I think that's the point of, any sort of, I guess, story really is just, you put yourself in the shoes, not it has to look like you, so then you can finally imagine yourself there. But
It's knowing that they are all human stories. There's nothing in you that is not also in me. We all know, or can, or carry the capacity to understand what grief is, what
We're all
love is,
enough.
what.
Now it has.
This topic is sorry.
Hey,
Rosales.
This topic is oddly, pun intended, topical. With the recent passing of Akira Toriyama. Because
Rest in
his
peace.
story
The GOAT.
between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z has so much popularity within Hispanic culture. It's insanely popular throughout Mexico and South America. Or South America.
The literally me characters is Goku.
Yeah, and it's proof in concept that you don't need to recognize yourself physically in the character to identify with the content of the character.
Indeed.
I'm sure it would feel nice as someone who is like I'm a white guy, so it's like I'm not going to say, oh well, black people experience things this way. It's more like it would probably be good if I were a black person to maybe see black people in media more. But
for sure,
how relevant that is to me enjoying a character, that's a different question.
Yeah, don't try and say just because the person is black, that's going to make him relatable.
I've seen a lot of people make that mistake, way too many, and it hurts so much in not only for the quality of the conversation, but just so that we can actually dive into what things mean and why we have these feelings and how to make a character relatable. And then people are just for some reason elated with these extremely surface level answers of, oh, he looks like me. Like, no, that doesn't mean much at all.
That doesn't like you could take that to the extreme, to the ad absurdum, and you'd be like, listen, I have not seen my face in the movies, therefore I cannot. Sorry, I'm not. Nobody has had this size nose with this size eyes, and we can bring it all the way down and say like, I need to have
and the flyover,
the flyover titties, and the I love that Charles doesn't know what that is yet.
But anyway, we're bringing back the old lore.
the old lore, yeah. I don't even think Hydra was there for flyover titties, guys.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at these newbies over here.
Oh yes.
Join us, Charles. We're the new group. We're the new limb that's growing.
Well, I'm the oldest of the new, but as your elder, I bid you welcome.
That's how we judge the ages. It's post and pre flyover titties.
But
sorry, I do.
It's a example that is not in vogue anymore for obvious reasons. But a show that I used to love watching growing up was The Cosby Show. It was really wholesome. Well, it was a really wholesome family, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family Matters was formative for me.
Mm-hmm. Same. And these were wonderful shows with wonderful families, and you got to see yourself in them through the way that they treated each other.
Because they were humans,
and
that's and only an idiot would go, oh, well, I don't see myself in that, so I'm not going to be interested in it. It just that's
or a very vapid. I don't know about idiot, but vapid at least.
A vapid, sorry. Okay, I labeled and dismissed. I'm sorry. I'm guilty of that.
I can only identify with seeing Gray on the big screen. I need him in my Iron Man for representation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if you do a Kitty documentary where an exact clone of you will play all of the scenes? Will you be able to identify, or will you just put you off even more because they're exactly like you?
Yeah,
but
exactly,
not quite the same. That's the point. Like, I think it has nothing to do with physical appearance, and it's pretty obvious if you delve into it just a little bit beyond the surface, philosophically. I mean, like it's so easy. All you need to do is shuffle around a couple of blocks, and you will easily be able to see that it's not the moving force behind it at all.
Well,
but some people are not interested or are not doing this for some reason. I don't like it.
We need to get Nico to do his editing magic and put Kite's face on every character in some famous movie scene.
Yeah, all of them for each one. No, but I'm just also another thing is, look, you can don't take it to the absurd, and say what they mean is they want to see identities represented. But what they lose is that they think that they can just label something over here, just put the little put the look they're gay and now they're representing all gay people. I don't know. He's been told I'm not going to the door. So no, it's not Cinnabon.
Charles, you look like you have a lot to say.
Also, just one more thing, Multi. I know you're gone, but I guess the only thing is I need to draw some emotes. It just doesn't make.
Yeah.
I don't have much to give members.
I have been working on those in the background. I have not shown them because they're hardly complete. Okay, well, let's do more art lessons. Damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway,
so
Charles.
Huh?
Charles,
You're silent.
You've been making a lot of faces.
Talk now.
You've been making a lot of faces.
Well, have I? I got to turn my camera off, I think.
No, we love it. It's a major contribution to the conversation.
So I
we're
want
gonna
to
lose the perfect balance. 4-4, camera, no camera.
Never
Okay.
4-4. It's always like 1.5 to 7.
That's exactly why this precious state of balance must be preserved for as long as possible.
I while it's on my head, I do want to bring up two things from the last stream because I watched it back. First of all, not that it's an excuse, but it's my excuse. I've been switching my antidepressants and SSRI medication. It's not an excuse, but I've been a little extra scrambled brain recently. And two things that I noticed in the last stream. One, apologies to Vince. As we were going back and forth, I mislabeled something that I heard somebody else say earlier on Vincent, and it wasn't fair, even though he didn't, bite back on that.
No one should ever apologize to Vincent. We're good.
No, stop.
No,
That's
I don't want to be wrong.
He deserves it.
I don't want to be wrong, and like we constantly talk about, if you're going to have the same emotion and volume with something without knowing it, you better have the same volume. And I'll obviously say this again in your correction. And Gray asked me something before we did the where I was trying to find the picture for 7. Oh no, it was Inglourious Basterds.
Yes.
Yeah. And Gray asked me something, and I just totally wasn't hearing anything that was being said. All I heard was Charles, and I was like,
There's
okay.
9 people here, man. There's perfect reason. We get derailed all the time, but that's awesome that you actually thought about it.
Well,
if anyone's a good sport, it's Vincent. So don't think that you offended him.
He likes to.
Yeah.
He likes to take the opposite position that everyone else in the call has,
just
for the sake of conversation.
Well,
He
it's
is the
fair that
steeliest of steelmans. Yes.
if I'm wrong, I'd like to address
That's a word for it.
Charles, the fact that you're even trying to bring it up is like extremely admirable.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons we appreciate the hell out of you, man.
Yeah.
But I was wrong.
It's not the
That's
wrongness,
perfectly
it's the addressing. Like
I think
it would be harder to appreciate you if you were never wrong. That would be weird.
Vincent's usually
What we're
wrong as
saying
well.
is that this is an acceptable apology video. You just need to cry more.
Yes, exactly.
Where is the
Bring in a cat or
ukulele?
something, like I just want to make this video.
you should have turned on your
ukulele.
you should have turned on your camera and then walked into frame, sat down, sighed, and said, "I didn't want to make this stream."
Exactly.
There you go.
that's why he arrived late. He was like, "Oh, I didn't want to," and then
Oh,
and he's
so
not wearing white. Out. Yeah.
to get on what you were discussing before, I had my I'm sorry meltdown. I think in media you can have representation, but have the story, have the thing be first.
That we care about.
Yes.
Right.
But if you have representation, do you need
character.
a story?
The story
No,
is what
no,
makes
apparently
the
not.
representation so powerful. It's what gives it power. It gives
Yes.
it meaning.
Mm.
If you
Gives it-
just have
gives it
people on
value.
screen, if you just have people on screen and there's no substance
They're a
behind
suit.
it, then exactly.
Mm.
The
Well, it
but
was,
something I wanted to bring up was, unless you had more.
no, it's kind of I don't know if Warren got to it, but the thing about politics that is constantly being the top layer of whether or not somebody feels something is good or not, and it's just not, especially like when you're trying to find something in a movie where it's like I'm sorry, if you're going to complain about the Buzz Lightyear movie, the fact that two people hold hands or kiss in a half a frame. That is not the story. Like, okay.
No. We could talk about how awful the rest of the movie is.
Right. And, to stay away from, like, if you're highlighting that one little moment as the problem with the movie, it's just like,
but it also
go a different route.
What I also want is that you don't make that the reason somebody should go and see the movie either.
Yes, of course.
Don't come and tell me, oh, this is the first black female to do this and this and no, I want to know about the story.
It's the first out of 11 first times that a black person's been on film. Like, it's funny actually because I've been saying this for ever since what was it? It was 2016, but 2020 really solidified it, where politics has become sports.
Yes.
And that's reflected in movies where people won't go watch something that doesn't support their team a lot of the time. It's the same echo chamber problem with even YouTube videos and YouTube communities, where that's a little bit of team sports right there, especially if they're in the slightly political realm.
Yeah. Like I brought up earlier when I was reviewing Run, Hide, Fight, and they're like, "Oh, that Ben Shapiro movie."
The Ben Shapiro movie.
I was like, he bought it. That's all he did. He bought it.
By the way,
all there is to discuss.
Yeah, that director has a really good interview with Tim Pool. I don't like Tim Pool very much anymore. I used to watch him, but there was a very good video, a good show that he did with the director of Run, Hide, Fight, and he breaks down how all of that went about. I highly recommend it if people want to look into it.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
But yeah, politics is annoying.
Indeed.
But we talk about it all the time.
It's extra frustrating when it comes to the media conversation, because if you think that somebody being politically motivated to put diversity into their films is a bad thing, and your response to that is to instantly think, oh my goodness, this is done for political reasons. Anytime you do see diversity, you're guilty of what you're accusing these people of doing.
Yeah.
Look, but you need to be able to look. I know that I did that, and what a great example is the House of the Dragon. It gave us all the signals that said, "Oh shit, this is gonna be.
This could be bad." Yeah.
Yeah, and I was ready for it to be a shit show. And then you watch it and you're like, "Oh, I love this." You don't even notice what's going on there. Okay, you did notice. There's a little, but you will forgive all of that. But it turns you into, like we said with reading or watching Game of Thrones, where you start seeing, oh, I like this character, they're probably going to die. Now it's like, oh, okay, there's representation, they probably here for representation.
And then we kill the representation.
It's just...
We can't do that.
This is an extremely important thing that
out of this, yeah?
That I'd like to add on to quickly before we move on, is that what this boils down to, in my opinion, is that it seems like a lot of customers and consumers lost their trust in those presenting the entertainment, that if there is something of a certain nature in it, then they did not put it in for political reasons. So, for example, you can do representation or even very extreme politics rather well in different types of media. Just to give you a quick example, the original BioShock, full up to the brim with political messaging. It doesn't feel forced or injected though, because it fits everything with the art and what it was made for and for what reason, and it is done with respect for the player and for the art and for everything in its presentation. But now we have reached a point where political messages and even certain positions, if they appear in the movie, game, product, whatever, it is automatically assumed that it's injected by an external force or activist because of how much it has been done. And that has damaged the conversation a little bit severely, because we cannot have certain topics there anymore because it has been used incorrectly and as a bludgeoning tool by people who don't like not only the product but the consumer so many times that now whenever people see it, they immediately have the, oh god, brace for impact, this is going to be terrible, it's the same thing again reaction. And as you said before, that it is just a fundamental loss of trust that you can have certain topics explored without it becoming a battle. And it's supposed to be entertainment when people go there to escape real life. And then they get dragged back into about that political conversation yesterday. It's like, motherfucker, I want to play a video game, but no. So
I want to kill some bugs. Okay, I just want to go and kill some bugs. No.
Have you thought about what or who these bugs may represent? No, I want to kill the bugs.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
but actually, it's funny actually. Go ahead.
Well, I think of one way to word this, and that's kind of what conversations are, is also just rewording what each other's saying. Like, is we weaponize media now for the culture war.
Yeah.
So it's like, look, like that is where it happens. I understand that's the battleground that it happens upon, but now everything is pulled in, whether or not that was the intent. It's all weapons. So for either side. So you're right. Like the first question is it woke? And I understand the people that don't like the word woke because of that. Yeah, I get that.
But there is a blatant difference between something like Alien and Batwoman, you know?
That woman? What do you mean that woman?
Yeah, the CW Batwoman.
Oh, I thought you said that woman.
No.
Who is that woman?
That woman over
there. Yes, exactly. It's actually, Kitty, you touched on what I was going to say. I can't stand the politicization. Everything is political crowd annoys the hell out of me for this reason, especially. It's because when you want to make something and you don't have a political agenda, these people will twist it and say, no, this is actually really profound. Or there's the other side of that. People will say, well, they put 3 Mexicans in it, so therefore this is forced diversity. And then there's the other side of that where it's like, well, if you think that this type of diversity is forced, then that's the problem that's wrong with you. And it starts this weird gaslighting echo chamber that drives me crazy. It's like the point that you think that diversity shouldn't be in there, or it's all the misrepresentation. I could create a caricature and burn it down all the way, but I'm sorry. I'm just gonna sit here and let you guys talk more.
If I see a black woman, it is woke and bad.
Well, the thing that I don't know if I discussed it here or maybe on my channel, but the putting something in just to please a crowd, all you're doing is, first of all, like the Star Wars movie where the lesbians kissed, out of focus. I'm sure the
and they removed it for the Chinese version because over there they would get killed for that. But yeah,
exactly right. I'm sure the LGBTQ crowd really loves being out of focus and in half a frame, so they're pissed off. And then you have the anti-woke that they're pissed off that it's even in there. And like what you're doing is bringing attention to something that you're not going to get any sort of kudos for. So why the hell are you doing it and bringing attention to it? Just have it be organic.
Well, part of this is that
tell us a story. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. No, part of this is that they are doing it for pats on the back. They do all this stuff and then they pat themselves on the back. But when you do representation like the X-Men cartoon back in the 90s, they had all of these characters of diverse backgrounds and ethnicities and such.
But were they diverse enough?
They didn't pack themselves on the back for it, right? But they just told the story.
They
just told the story.
Yeah.
Catrew, didn't you know history began 2 minutes ago?
Well, and I mean, especially with X-Men 97, not the new one that's coming out, but the old series, like that diversity was not only a tapestry of the world building, but also the theme that they were going for.
Oh, but it was always political.
It was a message that could be political, but it was a message that is fundamentally human.
Yes.
Yeah. The subtext.
It depends on when you ask Stan Lee whether it was political or not.
Yeah.
True. But anyways, no, Charles.
No, the subtext is analogical for those who are in minorities, no matter what the hell it is. Just it's
in any context.
It functions
yeah.
that way, regardless
any outsider,
of
anyone who's different in any context.
And
I think that's what helps people relate to it.
Right.
That goes,
yeah.
And that
when
goes
the
back. Yeah.
go ahead, please. It's your channel.
No, you're in the center of the screen. We have to.
Well, don't
Yeah,
put
it's
me
your
here.
screen, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, well, like you can see stuff like that in a bunch of popular films and television shows that before this whole, I don't know when the hell this shit started, but beforehand, like to stick with horror, which is what I'm surrounded by, Night of the Living Dead. You can watch it. You can watch it as a just silly zombie movie, but there is this message at the end about society, and if you're not, if you don't want to think about that's fine. You still have your silly zombie movie, but there is something in there baked in.
Ramirez the man. And it was awesome that he kind of layered that message in, but it wasn't beating you over the head with it.
Right.
I mean, I guess you could say the end was a little on the nose, but fair enough. I don't know. I agree with you. It works on levels where some of these don't feel like they are currently.
No.
Well, and hell, the original Psycho had an ending that was injected into it for political reasons.
Really?
Yeah, where they explained that all the reasons why was it no, I can't remember his name. Norman Bates, yeah. All the reasons why Norman Bates did what he did was because he was clinically insane.
Oh.
And it was
Psycho?
Yeah.
That's why he's literally
but they wanted it to be in there so that it would be a differentiating factor for people, so they wouldn't be afraid of other people in society. Weird.
So,
unlike with what was it? Stanley Kubrick's. Oh God, why am I blanking on the name? With the people that were
the people, the thing.
I know the one that you're talking
about.
about.
The Shining from Stanley.
No.
No, the awesome one in the 70s.
People in that.
I Am Sam.
No,
not even close.
Inglorious Bastards.
Yeah, that's the one. That's what he was talking about.
Guys, Hydra needs to dip, so let's just.
I also need to dip.
Unfair.
Oh no!
Unfortunately, yeah. I would like to say a couple of things before I go.
Yes, thank you.
As I'm not really in the vicinity of my PC or a router, so I'm from data and I'm approaching the limit of that. So unfortunately, whether I want to or not, I will sooner disappear from the ether. I thought I would get rid of it, at least get a proper exit rather than just drop out of the call at some point. Love talking to you guys, as always. Sorry for only being able to join late. Again, this is a day that I'm usually not free on. I had to squeeze my time in so that I could be here. I'm literally not anywhere near where I usually am. But
we really appreciate your appearance.
What I wanted to say quickly before I go is that to anyone who has any critique of what I might have said on a previous stream, or really just want to talk to me about anything whatsoever that I've brought up on a stream, they are always welcome to join the Discord and talk to me from over there. And I'd love to chat to people who have really anything to add, whether it be positive or negative, if they can do it in a civilized way, because I always want to do that. I always, almost always, whenever I'm free and I have the energy, I want to chat with people who have different perspectives, and I'm ready to learn things. So with that, I will have to unfortunately go and sign up. And thank you guys so much for having me here.
We love you, Hydra.
Take care,
Yeah,
Hydra.
take care, Hydra. I also need to dip because I have a job in 10 minutes that I need to be at work for. So
we love you too, VMO.
Yep, this has been very fun. Warren was super cool. Make sure that you guys actually go look at his channel. There's some really interesting stuff on there. I need to do that myself because I've only seen 2 videos of his. But yeah, you guys have been great. Thank you for having me on, and I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
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 Oh Okay.
Kite,
Yeah.
you did get a super chat earlier, and Darling was
Yeah.
asking if we're going to get the Gartic Phone at all.
Oh, we can do a Gartic Phone. I think they'll be good. I installed the driver. Here is, sorry, I'm just putting the...
There's a garlic phone driver?
There is.
Ray,
No,
did I ask you about that thing?
Yes. I think
also-
the thing is taken care of.
Okay, good. Sorry.
Nobody's
that
the
is so-
wiser.
I hate when people do that, and I do it all the time. I'm so...
A sound issue. It was a sound issue.
I think that's why I sound different now. I think I figured it out. But yeah, good times.
Cheers.
Oh,
Now we know what he sounds
why? What did you do? Why did you fix it?
So I was trying to figure out a problem for somebody else, so they could figure out how to game and use their mic at the same time. And I was trying to figure that out so that I can do gaming streams. And I think I figured it out.
Speaking
But
of which-
somehow just doing
Yeah,
the
if you want to.
weird voice meter, it just changed my mic. I don't know.
There you go.
I could put it direct and it sounds weird, like I'm doing ransom, or I could use this voice thing and apparently it sounds more natural. So I don't know. But yeah, now I can go ahead and do some gaming streams as a chipmunk. So good times.
Well,
Are you sitting on your nuts, sir?
A little bit. I didn't know you could tell.
Speaking
of gaming, I've put together a Thinkers gaming channel. And there's going to be a D&D campaign, Descent to Avernus, with many of the Thinkers. And there are talks about making the channel a sort of community channel for the Thinkers. Those talks do still need to happen, but go over and subscribe, and we'll do some dedicated games and stuff.
Yeah.
Wait,
be
is that on
ready, turn
YouTube
your
or Discord?
notifications.
Sorry.
A YouTube channel. Did I say Discord?
Again,
I just put
my
just
chemical
put the-
imbalance is heavy.
I think it's because
Aren't all of
I
ours?
put the Discord link in the. Let's put the channel link there.
Yeah, let me.
At the moment, it's pending our arrival, but it is alive, and go and subscribe.
Wait, where is it?
Exactly.
I
Here it
posted
is.
a link for Kite to share. Which
So something I wanted to say a while back, but
Yeah.
was
I need to get my
actually
pad, so.
if I could adapt a book into a movie, well, one, it would be like a short film, and it'd be animated. Would be the only proper way to do it. Would be John Livingston Seagull, if anyone remembers that book.
Mm-mm. What's it about?
It's about this seagull who, all he wants to do is be the best flyer. But, all of his family and everybody around him are all like, no. Flight only exists to get from point A to point B. Point B being where the food is.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't really care about that. He cares about learning how to fly and being the best kind of flyer. And he goes on an adventure.
Okay.
What is the one you want to do?
Oh,
It's nice to see that Shirley's made a surprise appearance.
Yeah.
Shit. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, BMO's not here anymore. But
No.
Team Britain Twit here, we watched the entirety of the video game adapted. Help me out, Catrew.
Arcane?
Yes, Arcane. So watching that with no knowledge of the game series was interesting. And then when we finished the series and I went to look at the game, that's not something that's really heavy with story. It's a MMORPG, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It's a MOBA. It's a MOBA.
Just a different categorization, but yeah.
Yeah.
So how did the fans of the game take that?
They actually loved it.
Very pleased.
Highly
Yeah.
supportive. And even though it actually does change up a little bit the lore, they still loved it. even though it's not a one-to-one lore adaptation.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Kitty, how are you traversing around your home right now?
Legs.
Magic carpet.
On 2 legs, yes. Okay, I'm back. Why?
Oh, just I'm watching on stream this
I
limbo
was-
action
I
going.
was- I was looking. Also, it's because Daisy's drawer is open
Ah.
and Daisy is inside it, so I can't get into this cupboard without disturbing the princess. They give me high five. Good, yeah. And now I have this. That's what I was looking for. I was all around the apartment. Yeah.
Well, tell Charlie goodbye if you see him.
Chairman Hassan. We still need to get boobs for him. I mean her.
Yeah.
Them.
This is awfully tit heavy, this episode.
Yeah.
Sorry about
But
that.
I mean, it's
Hey,
for the
tits are
views.
great. Finches
Yeah.
are great. Blue-footed boobies are great.
What?
Lovebirds.
Oh,
Lovebirds
aha,
are great.
aha.
Big fan.
Okay, I think that is all my USB ports filled up. Okay. Anyway.
Do cocks and hens count as birds to you?
Poultry,
I
but
believe
yeah.
so.
Our birds are
Close
ours
enough.
birds. Okay, so
They are pretty
that
foul.
concludes this.
I thought they were dinosaurs, but I'll accept bird.
I think that concludes our chatting part of the think. But now we shall go into this is usually where people drop off, but we would
File
really
out.
like you to stay because it is really fun. We are going
A
into
moral
some
good.
Gartic Phone. Yeah, it's a moral good. If we would even force Warren to do it one day.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah, that would have been great. He could also do it with his students. Might be a fun exercise.
Actually, okay, so let's get Gartic Phone on the line.
What does he teach?
So he is a high school teacher. I'm not sure the exact class, and then at a college he teaches filmmaking. So,
Nice.
yeah, that is kind of awesome.
Okay, boys and girls. Shall we do a round of presenting everybody's screens? So, like, we'll start with Gray. Oh, Gray can't. Wait, have you got the new computer that you can do it?
Sort of.
Wait, why aren't you doing
I
it?
think with my audio routing, it might be kind of weird. I haven't quite figured that out for on the fly. It might be super echoey. I figured out how to do a game, but I don't know if it's gonna like triple it up with this.
Just say you have a to be
true.
sorted folder and you just want to make sure that.
Yeah, I can't show my to be sorted folder. You know, for reasons.
Oh no.
I think by next time I will totally have everything worked out, but I
Yeah,
was up
sort your
kind of
folder
late
out.
trying to figure it out. Yeah.
Later. Okay, so no, it's cool. Whoever can, I just want everybody to feel included. We don't have to watch me draw.
No, you're
whole
the best
time.
drawer.
Oh, the
You're the
best,
best.
drawer. Daisy's the best
Yeah.
drawer. Okay.
Darling's gonna throw down for that title.
True.
Yeah, well, I mean, he will show us how it's done. I'm going to put the link in the chat so people can join us. It's fine. Let me move my keyboard.
Ba-da-bum-bum-bum.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I'll start this. This is
Link,
the
come on.
signal.
Link.
Wait, this is the signal.
To the past.
Time to feed those ducks.
Yeah.
Could I
Okay,
get
come
that
on.
link in the
Link,
Discord?
where's the link?
We're putting it here in this chat. Oh, did I put
I
it
won't be
here?
able to access it from the chat.
Oh, the private.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it in the Discord as well.
I'm in.
I'll just DM you.
Son of-
Gotcha.
Where is? I've spoken to you separately. Come on. There you are.
I don't think I'm comfortable with that.
What? What happened?
It's a little too personal.
We didn't have this last year. What? Women's Month again? Every day is Women's Day.
Oh yeah.
I'll put the music lower.
This does sound awfully cable porny.
That's the point. Yeah.
Well, it is called Feeding the Ducks.
Well, I mean,
Come on,
like
feed them.
shitty cable porn,
Feed
like
them.
where you don't really see anything. You just see a guy
Hey,
with his
And then you
jaw.
just
Like-
hear,
Yeah, just
oh god.
that's it.
This
Just
is... Oh, St. Pat's Day, but your parade. So you're not going to be in the watch party. I see how it is.
wait, St. Patrick's Day. Oh,
Yeah.
Tamara.
I mean, your own mileage.
We'll watch
may
a
vary,
movie.
but
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, when do we determine... Let me put this here.
30 seconds to join.
Ian.
We're going to do a
All right.
normal... Shall we do normal, hey? Or
Yeah,
what?
normal.
23 seconds to join.
Time.
It had a
time-
darling.
Time for some totally not illicit party favors.
I need to go and put... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to change the category on Twitch.
18 seconds to join. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Whee! You can wait for the next round if you haven't made it. Okay. Don't look at my screen. People that are. Just follow the prompts. Cynical. I'm sorry, I just enjoy the music. What does it say
Yeah.
about me?
That makes one of us.
Kind of getting down to it. Oh, really? There's two here enjoying this.
Yeah.
This reminds me of my childhood frustration. What?
Wow.
Okay,
You'll get
here's
relief
the
soon.
test.
Here we go.
It's gonna be
Here we
awesome.
Relief.
It always ends in relief, doesn't it?
Yeah. There we go. Oh, right. There. All right. Now for this. Yeah. Oh. There.
No.
Oh no, 1/4 of the time gone.
Oh.
Oh no. This is going to be atrocious.
Indeed.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Okay. Andrews,
Why
please.
does she have a nose like this?
Wait. Here we go.
Oh my goodness, Chinsia.
Oh gosh, what have I done?
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Okay, who's the overachiever who's finished?
1/4 of the time left.
All right. There we
A
go.
quarter.
I think this is going to cause controversy. Shoot,
There we go. Yeah, okay.
Controversy.
Oh no. 8.
Finch, that is the whole
what I
point.
get.
The whole
All
point
right,
is to not
here
be
we
good
go.
at drawing.
Yes.
Well,
It's
okay.
all about.
Don't look at my
My-
screen!
My only defense is that I'm using a touchpad for a mouse.
Oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Gray, you might have gotten mine.
Wow, this is an interesting one.
I'm a done.
I don't know if I've fucked it up. It's okay.
This is an awesome drawing. Who's ever I got?
Oh,
It-
yeah.
I just see more layers each time I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh.
I can do it. I
I'm
can
not
do
in
it.
tune with the snail cinematic universe here.
No.
Ooh, you haven't
You're
kept
gonna
up?
have to.
No.
Sorry, you've fallen off.
I missed some of the television series, I think.
Yeah. Well, Young Snail League will be awesome.
There was a divorce at one point, and it's all very sad.
There we go.
You know what? Having the drawing pad has not helped at all. so-
Forgot.
Wait, you guys have drawing pads?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Oh, you don't?
No. Should I?
Just my fingers.
But am I not cool? Is that what that you don't with such vigor was for?
Uh-huh.
I'm not using mine, but it wouldn't make
Sure,
a
you're
difference
not.
anyway.
Suddenly, I don't know how to draw this.
British kids screaming.
Hey, it sounds like Dubai.
How do you know he's British?
Well, I'm
wait.
here. Yeah, I guess they could say the same thing about me if I were outside. British guy trying to copy an American.
Acting all American.
I don't know what color this thing is.
Oh my god.
All right,
What the
all right,
hell?
all right,
You don't even see color?
Why, Chitsia? Why?
Here we
Okay,
go.
you know what?
Here we go. Wait. No, not that. I got this. Okay. There. Okay. Yes. Then. Whoa. There we go.
Uh-oh. So
Okay.
less than a quarter of the time remains.
And then.
Oh no.
I hope Bimo never sees this.
I have no excuse. There's something horribly wrong with me.
I mean, don't we all have that excuse?
Yeah, with varying results.
That was a beautiful, like sigh. Okay. Okay. Whoa. Why does that look like a foot? Nice.
There we go. There we go. Perfect. Never have to have been a more perfect description.
Oh, come on.
Yo, what
Okay.
the
I think one letter got left off
All right.
mine, so add a letter to yours, whoever got that.
Yeah, I'll do that. No worries.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, mine also left out a letter. Ooh.
How do I represent this?
Alright. I can do it.
Thinking bagel.
Alright, and then we have
kazoo tight?
Nice beast. Thank you.
Wow.
Keep that
Powerful.
kazoo tight.
Come on, Galente, use the tools available to you.
no, that's wrong. That's not how you do that. Okay. So
Wait, I can't do it like that?
no.
Okay.
No. It's okay. As long as you know.
I can't. This is.
There's no way. There's no way.
There's a way.
No, that's not.
Where there's a will,
That's
there
not
is a way.
Will I like it?
we'll excrete you.
Hey.
But
product placement.
if I were a product, maybe.
Yeah.
Aren't you a product?
Of his environment.
Aren't we all?
Oh, she gotta be happy. Oh, come on. Oh, for flip's sake.
Oh no.
Oh my
1/4 of the
God.
time remaining.
All right. Well, you
Is it?
can
Is it going to be all
do the
right?
rest- It will be. It will be.
This will not be all right. It never will. Yeah, I'm sorry for whoever's going to get this. This does not make sense.
I don't.
I don't know if people will get what I meant, but once they see it all in, like, the next person won't get it necessarily, but people will be like, oh, I see how we got there.
That's what we hoped with this. Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
You better not have just seen what I wrote there. Why are you laughing?
I think we have our own
Yeah.
drawings to laugh at. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
What?
Oh my God.
Okay, here we go.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm going to hell.
There we go.
Join the
No.
club.
There. There we go. There we go. We have this. Right, we have. Okay. No, that's all wrong. All right, here we go.
Oh, Katzel.
There we go.
Yeah, this is not
Hi,
going
Axel.
well.
Oh God. Oh no, that's not gonna work.
Less than half the time.
Aw.
I hate life.
Okay.
Hey, it's almost over though.
What, life?
Yeah, both.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, wait, come on.
I quit.
I feel you. I've felt that so much this game.
I'm so
Oh, you
ill-versed
don't like my descriptions?
on snails.
Oh my God.
There's so much
No,
snail
no.
lore.
There is a lot of snail lore on this channel. Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's usually because we just have nothing else to say, so we're just like, you know what I'm gonna do?
There we go.
Put a
Yeah.
snail in it. And make her divorce.
Put a snail.
Describe our inside joke. Yeah, I don't know it.
Well,
No,
there's
no,
so
you-
many to describe. I don't know
you
if we could.
You add
All right,
to
here we
it.
go.
That's how
Oh.
it gets going. Okay.
I'm so embarrassed
This
right now.
isn't too political. Okay, let's see.
Just wait. It's going to
Voiceover
get even
on.
more embarrassing.
Okay,
Yeah,
No,
let's-
no.
Putting my my centrist views and stuff.
Show
Okay.
Clever Cat plays kazoo.
Well, that sounds
Oh no.
Mary.
This was my
Wholesome.
first attempt.
Oh, that's good.
Oh.
Yeah, I see cat.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'd get kazoo.
Little thin on the cat.
Cat with a head shaped
pretty
like
awful, isn't it?
Texas.
Oh no!
I mean, they're not wrong. Darling is definitely not wrong there. Oh wow, Dorkus,
See,
that
that's
is
so
gorgeous.
good.
That is so good.
I love your Texas cat.
The Texas Cheshire Cat.
Indeed. Oh, my bad. I got Catrews. Now it all makes so much sense.
Catrew lassoes a pig.
Hey, you get over here.
Nice.
The motion line.
Nice.
Very good.
Jesus
Yeah.
T-posing in space.
Oh,
T-posing.
I know where this goes.
Okay.
I was close.
I mean, I see it.
Night
The one leg's a
Jesus
little
flying
askew.
through space.
Nice,
Hey,
Jesus.
Jesus. Oh, we got.
I wasn't sure, but yeah, I can really see the night
Super
there.
space Jesus off to save other worlds from sin.
Apologies.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Space
everyone.
Jesus has saggy breasts.
It's supposed to be stigmata, but I got you. I see what you did there.
I'm so glad
Oh,
nobody
goodness.
came after mine. Because it wouldn't really make sense.
Sammy Snail eats a delicious sandwich.
Oh, this is where it starts.
Oh,
my
no.
gosh.
How did it get to what I had made?
Oh, Sally's the
Oh,
guy.
no.
Sally's the girl. Sorry.
Sally
Yeah.
eating a sandwich.
Sandwich.
Oh.
You know
Oh,
what? They look very.
no.
The last moldy sandwich in the snail epoca.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
There's
A
really
cheap sandwich with a side of snail genocide.
Wow.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Nice.
It's a good price. Only 80 cents.
Yeah, why'd their price go
Okay,
down?
so wait, does this mean Sally or Sammy is dead?
Well, there was quite a few snails, it looks like, in that apocalypse.
I want to be in that universe where the snails are killed off, so I know what's going on.
I think it's called
Sammy,
France.
I think Sammy's gone up to space a couple times. as
Sammy
well.
washing his car.
Oh, that kind of beetle.
Oh, that's cute.
Nice.
A snail washing a cherry red beetle with a sponge.
Oh, darling, that's cute.
I love it.
Oh, is that what that...
I mean, it still is what the prompt says.
You can see
I-
which ones
Damn
are
it.
Charles now. I can get them.
Yesterday,
couldn't
Sammy's
finish
troubles seemed so far out.
I tried. I tried.
I think that encapsulates it.
Snail contemplating how to use monkey bars.
It would be difficult.
Thank God this porno music's still playing.
Oh yeah, we're feeding the ducks still.
Oh, love
the
it.
mood just does not match.
Dorkus, that says so much. I love
That
it.
is exactly the prompt. I love it.
No. I'm missing
He's
arms.
sad over here, and then he's like, "Fuck you." Okay,
Angry
You can
so
see
now,
the contempt in his eyes.
so now Charles, the part of the snail law is that they have a thing against monkey bars.
Oh,
Okay?
is that
This now-
okay?
This is how the joke evolves.
Okay.
They find monkey bars to be a mockery of their existence.
Harry
Is
Potter
this-
riding a
Is this the
snail
reason
into
for the
battle.
apocalypse?
Yeah,
Oh,
it is.
interesting. Huh.
Okay.
The
I
monkey
tried
bars
to
attacked.
I tried to take inspiration from Darling and do like a perspective, and then I'm like, no, back out, back out.
Oh.
And angry snail is jockeyed by a super S witch.
Super ace.
So I took that literally. It's an S with a cape and a witch hat.
I do it
It
sometimes.
does seem super. It's got the
Yeah.
cape, and it is a witch.
Yep.
It's got the hat.
I
Okay.
get it. I get it. I
It's
see
all
it.
there.
I see it.
It's all
Worm
there.
with wizard hat and ape riding on a snail.
Worm. Oh, this goes wrong.
Snack wants Sally Snail to hurry up.
Oh no!
Schnell.
Wow.
Oh. Hey there.
Snail.
we're seeing what led to the snail apocalypse.
I'm not going to
I
celebrate.
like the wordplay.
They don't know.
They don't- they don't-
Ignorant party goers.
All right, there we go.
That meme with a party but one guy off to the side is salty.
It came back. I love it.
That meme. They.
Smug loner in corner at a party.
He does look smug, doesn't he?
That stayed surprisingly true throughout.
No celebration.
Yeah, we did good. I love that meme. That really got me. Yes.
Nice.
Okay.
A penguin has lost something special.
Oh, I'm sorry about this.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh no! Oh no!
My mojo is
Depressed
no.
penguin leaving his Arctic friends.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Aw.
Penguin sadly saying goodbye to his friends.
Yay.
Oh, that's so cute, darling. Love it.
Oh, saving. Sorry.
Young penguin on ship to Ellis Island waves bye to family.
Oh, now we know where he's going.
I love it.
Yeah. The story
Yay!
evolved.
You
There
made
could have
it.
been a better person to get that. Charles. Nash.
Charles.
What happened?
It's like the
He's
sequel to
waving
Happy
bye to
Feet.
family, but
Yeah.
he didn't.
I had to put the
brief
hat on
was
to
not
signify his youth.
I do like the propeller beanie hat. It's great.
Work smart, not hard.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm sorry,
No,
everybody.
I'm glad I did
I
it.
suck.
That.
Wow.
Okay.
Get it
Work
now.
smart, not hard.
Hey.
See?
What?
You could've got it.
What? Well done.
Wow.
Oh, that's a way better job. Shit. Good job.
Oh.
Keep the weight on your brain, not your back, dummy. Read a boo.
Read a book.
A boo.
That was the one that there should have been an extra letter.
Hey, inverted weights. The light one is supposed to be on the outside.
Mental gymnastics while reading a book.
Ow! This really hurts my head to look at.
I should never draw again.
Makes sense.
No, this is good. This is good.
Gymnastics.
That's
That
very
makes
good.
sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, good. Okay. Shall we do another one? One more.
Yeah.
Knock
You want to do
off.
story this time?
Or story.
Story. Okay. Well, yeah, we got enough people for story. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You turn, and we do story.
Do we give a second? I think camera. Okay.
Um,
Never mind. Then.
Well, this one goes fast, so. I'm not a psychic. I just, it was a good joke. Charles was just clever with his picture.
I used words most of the time. What are you talking about?
No,
was
the
still
smart,
clever.
not hard. You said no, and yes,
Oh, yeah,
you didn't do. Yeah.
Is
I
very.
thought I was derailing
very
with
good.
my response. Actually,
I have a very simple brain.
we're straight on. Mind melded there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
You'll see.
Sorry. There's no, this game is sorry. That's it.
Oh boy.
Oh, now you gave us a burp. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Did you?
I did. It was all like burp and stuff.
Oh, I'm passing the buck that I was given. Apologies. Actually, I added a couple of letters. Never mind.
Shit, I'm trying to think here. Oh, come on.
Oh, what?
Oh, wait.
No.
This is gonna be horrible. Okay.
What?
I don't know.
Again,
I think
sorry,
I've got some
everybody.
There we go.
Oh, this feels like a continuation of my last thing. Shit.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
What?
All right.
Hey, Zax.
Apparently, I just can't type "hey hey" without misdoing a capital. Like I think I've done that like 20 times today.
Okay. Okay.
This is gonna be bad. Oh, fucking shit up. Zax, I think you would be really good at Gartic Phone story time.
All right, last one. The end, everyone.
Haha.
Wait.
Thanks for letting us know that's the last one.
Yeah. It should say end the story instead of continue the story.
Yeah, but do we pay attention to it?
Yes.
Because technically it says like 9 of 9 over there in the upper corner. I just didn't pay attention.
Finish up.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, no.
Oh, how bad.
It's my favorite thing.
And now all is revealed.
Charles had a thing against snails.
Fact.
True.
Oh, how dare you, Charles?
Nonfiction.
Wow.
My goodness.
He equipped with
Bigotry.
his salt shooting rifle and went to
Oh, no.
shoot the salt with some friends. The snail apocalypse had begun in a small way that day. Even though it started small, it was slow.
Yeah, I get that.
Especially for a snail, which is pretty.
Oh no.
Oh.
A little too pretty for a snail, if you know what I mean. Which is why this snail identified as a sexy worm. And the whole world agreed. The end.
True.
Amazing. Oh, agreed. Shut the fuck up.
It wants to walk the desert, hurting, longing, dancing to the beat of his own sandy drum, but it cannot escape.
I fucked this up. I'm sorry.
It is eternally Trey.
It's always eternally Trey.
Dishing to make soup.
Are you hungry, Catrew?
So he made pasta instead. She was
Maybe a
Italian
little.
after all.
Oh no.
Bada bing bada boom. The mafioso crime boss said before eating his gabagool
Gabagoo.
and settling down to write his manifesto of pesto. It was
Nice.
a bit spicy if you ask me.
I do like the manifesto of pesto. That was great.
Thank you.
Well done.
Manifesto?
This one goes fast,
Manifesto.
said Kthxai. Famous last words. Great. Kthxai rides down the hill in a race with Gray. Gray wins, but his dope test comes of positive.
Comes of
Oh no, how dare you, Gray?
Uh-oh.
Turns out he's the dopest. Immediately disqualifying him. Doping in the mental gymnastics is strictly forbidden. The
Bah.
only way to get high is on your horse. Or leaping to conclusions that are obviously correct. Duh.
Duh.
Like, come on.
Oh no.
Indeed.
Wait.
IKR. Thus, society was fixed. The end.
It's a positive message.
We have great stories here. The story structure. You know what? Warren is crying because he missed it.
The MO was at work when a woman runs in and stole all of his 5G, which was plentiful. In the land of many Gs, the Duke of G-Dom retaliated with F. Although the puns were plenty, this G was racist as fuck and nobody laughed.
Hey, you guys laughed, though.
There was a lot of awkward silence and the racist cried. What?
What?
What? What? What? What I'm gonna tea? Type with my existential crisis.
Okay, that just.
I didn't have a lot to work with there.
It was good.
There was a snail unaware of his previous law.
That really helps. That helps. That's a good way to
I
start.
love that
An
Charles
aging
got that.
mental moron named
Same.
Charles had issues understanding the proper way to make mac and cheese.
I
He
know.
added the Gruyere and anchovies with great haste. It was important that the pizza be as absolutely abhorrent as possible.
Thank you, Dorkus.
It had her hair on it and cheese was solidified.
Oh, no.
Oh.
In the freezer next to the thing with her hair because other
Indeed.
evidence of crime was necessary to keep. Detective Sally refused.
Texas
How-
Sally.
Oh my goodness. She
Wow,
turned down the case.
That got really, really dark.
There's new lore.
There once was a red hat.
Ooh.
That had sat upon many heads with comfort consist. Untly escaping the owner of the
Just a running
Mazda, he vowed never to watch Fast and the Furious ever act. The next day he rented Pitch Black and committed to memorizing every frame. Finally, Charles learned that those eggs don't crack. He then
Ooh.
had to go to the hospital for his bruised testes.
At least on my own lore.
Exclamation mark. And then Charles learned never to make omelets again.
It came back. Oh.
He did. They knew it was Charles. He knew it. Boys, Bruce did. Charles Law.
I need somebody to make a Thinker lore video so I can catch up.
Did you ever own a Mazda? Out of curiosity, is the rest of the lore correct?
No, that's
Okay.
the one piece.
I know
Might
you have a
been
red hat.
misinterpreted.
He does have a red hat.
It's pink, but
I mean, you have an red hat.
Sigmund the squirrel
sure.
had forgotten to file his taxes.
Ooh,
Or
Galente
if-
brought in a new character. Sigmund the squirrel.
I gotta
Sounds
catch
proper.
Horrified.
All right.
Nay. Startled.
Indeed.
But yay. Was unfazed. It wasn't the first time he'd seen a
Uh-oh.
snail that size. However, it would be the last time.
So wait, what I'm getting is squirrel taxes are snails.
Next time he would make
Oh.
sure it was bigger. So first he started adding some baking powder and then he
Are snails squirrel
put it
currency?
in the oven, awaiting for the
That's what I'm-
no,
delicious
snails
cookies.
are squirrel lolly.
Oh no. Oh no.
By the taxes folder.
They burned
that does make sense.
SMH.
Folder. Yeah.
Normally rain is not fun, but on this day, there was something
Oh, that's a good start.
different about the rain. It prematurely aged you.
Uh-oh.
This
Jeez, Cameron. With
Horrifying.
dog.
has made you old, old man. How dare you? How dare you not finished sentences, she said. Go and jump in the kiddie pool. But no, this is Tacoma. Don't you know? The stallion energy is
Oh,
too great.
no.
Oh no.
The whole internet had seen his shame and his pride. They were not impressed. The whole internet made a vote to
You're not
never
lying.
speak of it again.
Well, that's a lie.
Guess he did jump in the kiddie pool in a way.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
One day a Hawaiian
It's too
shirt
good.
salesman decided he needed more shirts, but he had no money. So he decided to wing it and go for a streak. And not the winning kind.
No.
No, not at all winning kind. The shitty kind. The kind of child that is shitty.
Aye.
And we all know all children tend to be shitty, if not. For the tucked-in shirts, the clerk kept an eye
Came
on
back to shirts.
the sneaky tucker, and an eye on the gun under the desk. Chekhov's gun would never fire. Unsatisfying and
Indeed.
It's against the rules.
Okay, are we done,
Hey, at least
guys?
no one was hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Who
Don't know.
arrived?
We lost a gun runner, but now he's back.
He's
But
back.
he's blind. He doesn't have a character anymore. Okay.
Avatarless.
Let's get back to Kthxbai Things for the thinkers.
He thinks bye.
That was too much fun.
Okay. I thought that would be a good segue into
Ah.
goodbyes.
Yeah.
I mean, we usually do this when we end a think, so let's do it. Great. What you up to?
Yeah. I hope to have a stream with Charles in the near future, and then the AI comedy thing. We talked about it a little bit. And then yeah, I should be finishing a video shortly. I'm hoping to have it up on Monday, but we'll see. That's about all I got going. What you got going on, Catrew?
I'm one, I'm working on my video of the condensed form of the debate review. It's going. It's taken a while, but also hoping to have a talk with Charles about Poor Things, the movie.
Everyone just wants to talk about.
My
talk
uncle
with Charles.
made sure everybody could have access to it.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Charles
Good
is
uncle.
he's good at talking.
I am, or my uncle is, because my uncle's really good.
We're not looking to talk to your uncle.
I don't have any talks with Charles planned. I'm jealous.
My uncle left it there for everyone.
Yeah, it is there. Okay. Charles.
Yo.
You're doing all the talks with the other people.
Apparently, I'm just a talk whore.
I mean,
yes.
I wasn't going to say it, but
I mean, isn't that what we're all here for?
My mouth hole
That's
is
the new
wide
name.
open. Yes, the two previous. Well, yes, the previous two discussions will happen, whether or not it's on my channel. That's to be determined. But the missus is working on some thing at home while I have to make myself busy, and I was thinking of catching up with Last of Us 2 this weekend. So there's that. I'll finish playing that game that has so much praise.
2. Yeah, it has certain praise. Okay.
Oh, did I say 2? Yeah, it's 2. It's the second one.
Yeah.
Okay. Galente, I can just hear birds. That's great.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
It's funny.
No,
Catrew's
don't apologize.
Catrew's mouth was moving with the birds. That was incredible. I've never seen him.
He was going.
It has that effect on Cat.
Galente, I suppose you are just you haven't started any content yet. I just want to.
No, I will be doing some effort to try and be in the Discord voice chats more.
Hell yeah.
And also, I also am hoping to talk to Charles in the near future, just because he's a nice guy. And yeah, no, I'll definitely be more active in the Discord. And anybody who's not in the Discord, if it happens to be watching, come in, join in. We talk about stuff. We're fun.
Yeah, we do. Do so respectfully, and that's all we require. Dorkus.
Yeah. So last night, Hitta and I recorded some more of the Mistborn stuff, and they might be in contention for some of the best chapisodes we've recorded. So they're a ways out, but keep an eye on that. Obviously, the D&D campaign over on the Thinkers Gaming channel that we are, I think, all very excited for. And
Yes.
oh gosh, I feel like there are other things that I'm just totally blanking on.
The Three Kingdoms.
Stay tuned. Stick around.
Just
Global domination.
Subscribe to the Tinkers. And obviously the Tinkers. I get it, great. Listen. Thank you so much to Warren for risking to come onto this, with us. It was really great. It was fun. I really enjoyed it, and hopefully we can see him again one day.
For sure.
Awesome.
Everybody should have a nice life. Everybody should subscribe to all the Thinkers, including the honorary Thinker, Warren Smith.
Yeah,
although you
the
probably
guest
already
thinker.
subscribed to him, but just make sure that you
Yeah.
are. It's part of your homework.
Yeah.
Have
Subscribe,
a
you
nice
shit.
life. Oh yeah, just subscribe, like and subscribe. Shit. Also, just in terms of what I'm doing, oh gosh, tomorrow there's a watch party, but then there's also Rizala's a stream on a Sunday. So I'm all over the place. There's the Mistborn premieres. There's lots of stuff. Just look at the community tab. Look at the Discord where everybody shares their stuff. Have a nice life. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Much love.
Bye-bye.
Bye.